Time is the service of Dell Technologies. Black Friday and July deals. They're live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15 powered by Intel Core processors. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. Two problem spots, one on the Bishop Ford. Inbound, you've got ongoing road work between the Tri-State and 159th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, an accident blocking 3 right lanes. Northbound on the drive, right at Soldier Field. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Partial sun, humid day. High today at 82. Clear tonight, low 64. And then mostly sunny for tomorrow and the high 85. Clouds and sun, thunderstorm in the area on Saturday. The high Saturday 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Humid, clouds, 67. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. Joe Biden tried several times to stanch the bleeding in a political and constitutional crisis touched off by his disastrous debate performance. A series of media interviews only raised more questions about his cognitive capacity. Now, Democrats raised pressure on Biden to withdraw from the 2024 election. The White House sent out a letter on Monday with Biden's signature declaring that he would not willingly relinquish the nomination in an effort to end the discussion. However, the shocking exposure of the president's condition raises the serious question of whether he is actually making these decisions. NBC News reported last week that recently convicted felon Hunter Biden has inserted himself into policy meetings, a change that took place after the debate. Hunter has been the driving force arguing for his father to remain in the race. The Biden family businesses rely on Joe Biden's connection to power, and Hunter remains a key figure in those operations. The country deserves an answer to these questions. Who is running the country, and why?
Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you. You've watched the news. Rising crime has been affecting our everyday lives in Illinois more and more these days. Blue Star Security can protect you, your business, or your place of worship. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 900 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Jeffrey Salvetti, Vice President of Blue Star Security and a 15-year law enforcement veteran. The Blue Star team is made up of over 900 state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals. We serve businesses and private organizations with supply chain and special event security, and also protect our loved ones at places of worship and schools all across the Chicagoland area. Blue Star Security's technology allows mobilization of off-duty officers quickly and efficiently. Our primary mission is to provide unparalleled protective services for each assignment with integrity while maintaining our commitment to community service in the Chicagoland area.
Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at BlueStarSecurityLLC.com. That's BlueStarSecurityLLC.com.
Quick delivery service. What do you need delivered today?
Hi, I'm trying to work through a last-minute to-do list for my boss. Can you deliver a hard drive to the Loop in Chicago?
We can deliver that today.
Okay, can you deliver 20 boxes to a client in Rockford?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver 12 pallets of tile to our customer in Naperville?
We can deliver that today.
Can you deliver a large envelope to Northbrook?
We can deliver that today.
Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke. Can you...
We cannot deliver that.
Quick Delivery Service delivers your package no matter the size. More than just a messenger service, Quick Delivery Service is a messenger and trucking service that can also provide scheduled routes for your daily delivery or your air shipment. Trucks are equipped to handle the load and provide ground-level service for same-day delivery. The Quick Delivery Service team of safe, licensed professionals can provide quick door-to-door service for your special delivery. QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. We deliver that today. But we don't deliver this.
Chicagoland. When was the last time you had an absolutely fantastic meal out? I mean a truly delicious, fine dining experience where you savored every bite? This is the kind of experience you can expect at Region Kitchen and Bar in Barrington, home of some of the finest quality regional American food in the northwestern suburbs. Chef David Perlick, who's an avid supporter of Tunnel to Towers and AM 560, is very passionate about pleasing palates with juicy USDA prime steak, flown in, fresh seafood, and an amazing array of house-made desserts. Also, craft cocktails that are said to be the best in the area. Region's atmosphere pairs well with the mouth-watering food. Picture a swanky yet relaxing environment with tufted velvet bats, Wisconsin birch accents, white leather, and super comfy dining chairs. Ready to enjoy? Carpe diem and go to regionrestaurant.com. Make your reservation or stop in just 2 miles west of downtown Barrington on Route 14. Region Kitchen and Bar, regionrestaurant.com.
Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, a family-owned restaurant, a Chicago family favorite for over 40 years. Why? Because they're known for sub sandwiches the size of your forearm. No joke. Their 6-inch sub has more meat and cheese in it than any foot long in an Irish neighborhood. These sandwiches are iconic, famous for their homemade Italian beef, meatballs, burgers, and of course, delicious Italian subs loaded with mortadella, cabagol, salami, provolone, and their own secret sauce called Love Potion No. 9. This vinegar and oil dressing is famous on its own. Both Augustino's locations boast walls covered in authentic rock and roll memorabilia and artifacts, all celebrating their love for good old-fashioned rock and roll. Augie's is a feast for your eyes and your stomach. Dine in or carry out. Bring the family or the team. Plus, Augie's caters corporate meetings, parties, and celebrations. Don't make it yourself. Make it happen with Augustino's. Go to augustinos.com for locations and menus. That's augustinos.com.
For over 10 years, the award-winning KWCC Construction has been building a better future locally and throughout the Midwest, constructing with detailed planning and execution, completing projects safely, timely, and with transparency. If you've ever visited the Wilder Park Promenade along the Riverwalk in Aurora or driven past the recently revitalized Copley Hospital, you're looking at the quality construction of KWCC. Maybe you've seen the adaptive reuse of 80 South River Street in downtown Aurora, which now includes residences and businesses that have revitalized the area. No matter the project, KWCC Construction offers services from indoors to outdoors, conception to completion. In fact, KWCC was recognized as 2022's Best Project in Landscape and Urban Development. Highly recommended. A general contracting company you can count on. That's KWCC. To request a proposal for your project, visit kwccinc.com. That's kwccinc.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business powered by Mirabali Insurance. Sunday evenings at 6.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning. It's John Anthony here with my buddy Charles Thomas. This is not Dan, not Amy. I want to start off by saying really quickly, you won't hear the wisdom and sage of Dan or the wonderful comments from Amy Jacobson. Charles Thomas and I, we have our own special brand of doing radio. We've done it. What now, Charles? This is our, third or fourth time doing radio together?
Third or fourth time.
Yeah.
Combined, if you count your shows.
And Sean
on
Thompson.
Saturday with Black and Right, which is one of the great programs.
Yeah, I appreciate
one of the only programs that's truthful and basically shows you the wide political spectrum.
Well, you know, Charles, I always love doing radio with you. As on my last night after I left, yesterday after I left here, I started thinking about how, to put this show together. And Quinn has been really helpful in having us get guests and things of that nature. And I was just thinking about, how should we open the show? What should this show look like today? And I started, Charles, I'm not going to lie, I started getting excited because I looked out across the plain of America. Charles, I'm excited right now. I'm excited about the prospects of a reset here in America. I get called naive a lot because I look at Illinois and I still see the promise. I still see Illinois being able to rebound. I know a lot of people want to burn it down, take it all apart, but I still, and Charles, you know why I see that? I see it because I still believe that the people that reside in the state of Illinois and the people that reside in America understand what's happening now. I think their eyes have been opened to a lot of the chicanery that's going on in our politics, and they're actually feeling and actually seeing just how much these politicians really don't care about them. What do you think?
But John, a lot of folks are retrenching.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, and they're some of the diehards, particularly on the left, they just they won't respond to reason.
Right.
They saw with their own eyes the leadership of this country a couple of Thursdays ago.
Yeah.
And they still can't believe it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know what goes on in their heads, but those people that want to hold on to the status quo, who think somehow that the leadership of this country is taking us in the right direction, they haven't changed. And
Right.
that troubles me. I'm hopeful too.
Yeah.
And I think that we have an opening here.
Right.
Where things can change.
Right.
But I'm telling you, those people on the hard left,
right,
the Democrat Party, they are holding firm. I mean, it seems as though they can't understand why this guy, Joe Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden, should not be the person who is trailed by the nuclear football, everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
This is a national security issue.
It really is.
We have to put country above politics right now.
Correct.
Right now.
Correct.
And if it means the dread Kamala Harris has to be elevated to the presidency.
I hope that doesn't happen, man.
Well, what else can happen?
Oh, God.
What else can happen? Joe Biden, he can't, 4 years more of Joe Biden, he can't go another 4 months.
Yeah, that's
another
true.
4 weeks, really. I mean,
How many shots can he take?
Yeah, with hundreds of thousands of troops massing in Eastern Europe, with this wholesale war going on in Gaza. But this guy is our guy. This is who wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't vote for him, so.
Well, I didn't vote for him either.
He's our president, but he's not my guy. You know, if you're watching the feed, you'll see that I have my blue Trump hat on from Trump Doral Miami. I've been doing a lot of experimenting because I have a red hat and a blue hat, right? And when I had my red hat on, I literally would try to go into very liberal, entrenched areas and just see the response that I get from. Yo, listen, I'm telling you, I'm crazy like that.
You got a concealed carry?
I do. You better believe I do. But I would go there just to see the response that I would get from people. And when I have the red hat on, I get more sneers, but I get a lot of, hey, man, I'm a Democrat, but I'm with this dude. I mean, I'm talking about black, white, Latino. I mean, they're all, when I went to the Cubs game, I was at the Cubs game with Richard Porter, and I had my red MAGA Republican hat on. Charles, I'm telling you, so many people in that crowd, as I'm walking by, man, nice hat, I'm with you. Man, nice hat. I've never voted before. I'm voting for Trump this time. And I do that. And so then I put on my black, the blue one that I have on. I don't get as many because people think it's either a Cubs hat until they get up close on me. And again, it's I'm with you. I'm showing support for this guy. Charles, I'm telling you, I know the prognosticators are saying that, it's going to be close and all that. And I'm not saying Trump is going to run away with this. I'm not saying that, Charles. What I am saying is I'm telling you, Charles, I'm getting calls from cousins. I'm getting calls from family members, friends who my relationship was strained because of my support for Trump are calling me now saying, bro, I see what you saw now. Charles, I'm telling you, there's a fever pitch happening right now. And it's not so much because people support Trump. What they're seeing is this feeble old man in the White House, and they're saying to themselves, I can't vote for this for another 4 years because of the potential of Kamala getting in office, Charles, to your point.
Yeah, I mean, Kamala is an issue, but I think that if you look at just straight up policy, I mean, you look at what's happening to the Democrat Party right now,
right?
The divisions and such, and the chaos. But go back to the Afghanistan pullout.
Oh,
go to that and see. Look at that. They managed that.
Yes.
Look.
But nobody died. Nobody died on his watch, though. Remember that.
Nobody died. Then look at the border. Look at the border. Look at the chaos at the border. I live in the West Loop in downtown Chicago. I cannot walk down Halsted Street today without seeing women and small children standing on the street with cardboard signs asking for money. These are migrants, by the way,
Right.
because there are shelters in my neighborhood. I didn't see that during Donald Trump.
No.
We also have wars going
Yes.
on internationally.
Yeah.
That our foreign policy is being grossly mismanaged. More chaos. This is the party of chaos, and the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
And people are finding that out. It doesn't take a political scientist or some fancy Ivy League political analyst to figure this out.
Right.
And then, of course, look at the prices.
Yeah.
Look at the prices of everything in the grocery store.
You know where I charge? You know where I look at? 'Cause I'm a bacon and eggs man. I look at when I see the price of bacon and eggs go up exponentially, that's when I know there's something wrong with our economy. And I mean, I pay, I believe, $8 for $10 for 10 pieces of bacon, Charles. 10 pieces of bacon. I think it was $10 I paid the other day.
For 10 pieces
For 10
of bacon.
pieces of bacon. And that's not, it's not, I like the thick cut with the pepper, with
see,
the cracked pepper on it. I can't buy that because that's like $16 now.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's everything. I mean, at my vintage, I tend to spend more time than I would like at doctors.
Right.
So I go to St. Joseph's Hospital on the north side, or that's a medical building over there on the north side, to see my physician. Well, it used to cost me $5 to park in the building. Now it's $8. It just went up to $8.
Ooh.
That's a 60%
Yes, it is.
increase in the money that I pay to park. Well, that's not 3% CPI. And you talk about your bacon.
Yeah.
Think about your rent. Think about your
Yes.
energy
Yes.
costs. And not just gasoline. I'm talking about what it takes for your electricity or your gas, your natural gas.
$500 water bill.
It's all gone up,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And this has happened in the last 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And people have to begin to connect these dots.
I think that's what's happening. See,
That's what's
what I'm
happening.
saying.
That's
I think that is
exactly what's happening.
And I think that's why you see the people saying, I'm more voting for what the Trump policies and what he did in the last 4 years than I am voting for the man. I'm holding my nose to say I want what I had back 4 years ago, because what's happening today, it can't be sustained, Charles. It just simply can't be sustained.
John, this is not about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I try to explain this to my Democrat liberal friends. They want to make everything about Donald Trump. This is a movement. It's a movement of the American people. 75 million of them voted in the last election. Unfortunately, they did not prevail, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But this is a movement. It's not going to stop with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
These are, and that's what I try to tell black folks all the time, that what's happening to you is not just happening to you, it's happening to everybody.
Yes.
Don't write it off as racist. It's not
Well,
about
that's easy.
race.
That's easy.
This is about the elites and the working people of this country.
Yeah.
They have the same problem. I don't care if you're a white person living in downstate Illinois, you're faced with the same economic issues, the same educational issues.
Right.
When you talk about school choice, I don't want to digress here, but
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
Well, I'm talking about their schools are suffering.
Yeah.
White people have lost control of what's being taught in their schools.
Yes.
Just as you have. You lost it a long time ago.
Right.
But now they're losing it and they're reacting. So join forces with people.
Charles, that's why I love talking with you, bro.
Hey, man, but that's what people have got to do. This is not about Donald Trump. This is not about race. This is about America.
Yeah.
And whether or not this country is going to survive as a free republic.
Yeah, and we're going to get into a lot of those subjects today. I'm really pumped about the show. We got, former Superintendent Eddie Johnson coming on the show. Star Parker will be here, Stephen Moore, and Brian Phillips from the Texas Public Policy Foundation. We're going to tackle Project 2025 and the Trump's true agenda, Agenda 47. All of that and more. I know we got to go to break. I got to get used to this break time because, I'm like a stickler, Justin, for breaks. Like George Hoffman trained me to go on breaks like right at certain times. So I'm gonna do my best to get familiar with the morning answer because I haven't done this in a while. So, but I'm honored to be here. I want to thank Dan and Amy for allowing Charles and I to sit in, Marcus and John Gallagher, because it truly is an honor to speak to the people as they go to work. And I know sometimes you don't want to get bogged down with politics and things of that nature, but it's everything because it right now it controls every facet of your life, and you have to be informed. You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer. We already got the calls. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Join the conversation with Charles and I. We'll be right back.
5:31, 68 degrees, and in the newsroom this morning, Vermont's Peter Welch, the first Senate Democrat to now publicly call on Joe Biden to withdraw from the presidential race. Welch wrote in a Washington Post op-ed that while he has great respect for Biden, the time for him to step out of the race for the good of the country is now. Pennsylvania Democrat Senator John Fetterman on Fox News saying he's still confident in the president.
Joe Biden didn't have a great debate, but to me, I think that he's going to be our best. I think he already beat Trump, and I think this is our best opportunity to defeat Trump again.
Welch became the first Democrat senator to call on Biden to leave the race. President Biden wants AFL-CIO leaders to know he's the right leader for the future of the economy. Biden slamming his opposition, former President Donald Trump, and his economic plan while visiting the D.C. headquarters of America's largest federation of trade unions.
Take a look at what all the major economists, including the Wall Street economists, are saying. And what do they say? They say his proposals are going to bankrupt the country. His proposals are going to cause a recession. His proposals are going to cause us higher interest rates.
The AFL-CIO organization endorsed the president for re-election last month, but rank-and-file members are more likely, according to surveys, to vote for Donald Trump. Ukraine is on the way to becoming a member of NATO. Wednesday, the 32 members of the alliance approved a joint communique saying Ukraine is on an, quote, irreversible path, end quote, to NATO membership.
I'm very pleased that today all NATO members are making the pledge to expand our industrial base and our industrial capacity.
The move serves to reaffirm NATO's commitment through the President of the United States as host to support Ukraine in its defense against Russia. Funeral services are set for today for a black man killed in a confrontation nearly 2 weeks ago with security at a Milwaukee hotel. Brenda Giles is the mother of 43-year-old Devontae Mitchell.
To see him go out this world the way he did, that was devastating. That would never leave my mind. That's going to live with me for the rest of my life. And you know what? I always thought that my children would be the one that bury me, not me bury them.
The death of Mitchell has been likened by a few local activists to the death of George Floyd. Bystanders capturing video of these security guards holding Mitchell down as he pleaded for help. No arrests have been made. The investigation is ongoing. A boil water order remains in place for parts of the Beverly, Morgan Park, and Auburn Gresham neighborhoods on the city's south side. The issue centers around a leak in a high-pressure water main at a nearly 100-year-old facility that the city says is good for a few more years.
10-year assessment, and that 10-year assessment actually gets us to a place where we understand what the maintenance we need to do, how much money it's going to cost us, and how to prioritize that.
Authorities have identified the man killed in a wrong-way crash on the Kennedy Expressway. The wrong-way driver was heading eastbound in the westbound lanes when the accident happened early yesterday near Cumberland Avenue. The victim identified as Quinn Fraboni of Vernon Hills. And a man charged with shooting 3 Ogle County Sheriff's deputies last month is pleading not guilty. Jonathan Gonaris entered that not guilty plea in court yesterday. 3 deputies and Gonaris were hit by gunfire and sent to area hospitals. Cubs over the Orioles 4-0. White Sox split a double dip with the Twins at Guaranteed Rate Field, taking Game 1. And the U.S. men's national soccer team making a major change before the World Cup. Here in Chicago, the U.S. Soccer Federation confirmed that Greg Berhalter has been fired as manager after a disastrous run at the Copa America. The search for a replacement begins and likely ends with former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp. Also getting an interesting look this morning is French player and legend Thierry Henry, who leads the French U23 team in the Olympics. The news, a service of Blue Star Security. Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you and your business. Visit online at bluestarsecurityllc.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka sees good things.
The reality is they're losing control of the nation and your capacity to swallow the garbage they're trying to promote. It's a good thing, but only if you get engaged. Because in 4 months' time, if not you, then who? If not now, then when?
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Finding the right dentist for you and your family, one that you can build trust and confidence in and develop a long-term relationship with, can be difficult. If consistency in your dental care done in a compassionate and caring environment is important to you, then here's someone you should meet.
Hi, I'm Dr. Phil Fidgel of Broadway Family Dental Group. We've been blessed to care for generations of families and make building strong relationships with our patients a priority. Kids I treated early on in my practice now bring their own kids in. My partner, Dr. Michelle Nebelsberger, Dr. K as she's known in the office, started as a patient when she was 3. It's our goal to create a dental home where we can improve and then maintain your oral health, contributing to your overall health. This is my personal invitation to join us, kids, adults, and seniors. We have all the services and technologies, but most importantly, we have good people who want to take good care of you.
Broadway Family Dental Group, 847-824-5252. 847-824-5252.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I love taking Balance of Nature. It makes me feel sparkly every single day. It's just an amazing product.
I'm Rick. I'm in the best shape of my life. I play a lot of golf. I work out and ride my bike. I'm 63 and I can still almost hit a golf ball 300 yards. I mean, when I'm in the gym, I can do 90-pound dumbbells. That's what I did when I was young. As long as I'm living, I'll keep taking my Balance of Nature.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
The great hunt is on. Donley Auctions has buyers. They need more collections. This is Sean Thompson. If you're a collector, contact them and find out the market value. If you know a collector, tell Donley about them. If they sell it, you get a Donley's Finder fee. Money for you, cash in your pocket. Randy, what are you on the hunt for now?
Hi, Sean. I'm currently looking for any old signs for my August auction. I'm especially looking for old gasoline advertising signs and even gas pumps in any condition. Old soda pop and beer signs are also very sought after, and I even have buyers for old outdoor neon and porcelain signs that advertise a business. You'd be surprised at how much some of these signs are worth, but you won't know how much they're worth until you send me pictures to DonleyAuctions.com.
Do you have any of these items? Call Donley Auctions. Do you know anybody that does have these items? Call Donley and get the Donley's Finder's fee. Donley Auctions, 815-923-7000. Tell them Sean sent you.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
It's 5:40. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Inbound Kennedy already at 25. O'Hare into the Burn Circle interchange. Ike inbound. Overturned vehicle and an accident. 2 right lanes are blocked. It's inbound on 290 right at the Tri-State. Delays on DuSable Lakeshore Drive is a clear an accident northbound right at Soldier Field. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. A humid day ahead with partial sunshine, high 82, clear and 64 overnight. Some light sprinkles right now, officially at O'Hare, and 68. Your next news is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Saturday mornings at 11. Visit healthquestradio.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm John Anthony, filling in for Dan and Amy, along with my buddy Charles Thomas. Charles, what was the nickname I gave you? Do you recall?
No.
I gave you,
You gave me a nickname.
Yeah,
huh?
I did. You know, I'm like Trump. I give nicknames, especially to people I admire.
Okay.
And you know, I've admired. I thought about it. I was getting ready this morning. Charles, we've known each other now 11 years.
Right.
Wow. Way back in 2013 when we first met.
In Springfield.
In Springfield.
I think I took you to dinner.
Took me to dinner.
I said, man, I got to check this out. This is the only black man in
Yeah.
Illinois who is a Republican.
Yeah, but
I said, all right, this is curious.
Yeah, but I was like, what's his angle? I felt like you were Ahmad Rashad to Michael Jordan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because you I said this on when we were at the Sean Thompson show about a month ago. We had a meeting with Bruce Rauner. He called all the legislators down to Chicago. I want to say somewhere near Chicago Cut Steakhouse. You was camped outside. And as soon as I saw you, we locked eyes. I said, oh, here we go. And you tried to get a quote out of us. I'm like, Charles, nope, you ain't getting nothing out of me. No comment.
Oh, man. That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't. No.
Man, you know.
Bruce Rauner was a bully, man.
Well, Bruce Rauner was a bully, but I'm saying you had and you used it. I mean, you did what you could do.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and because it's suicidal.
It is.
Number one, if you went out there like you could have early on, but at the same time, I often thought about, man, what would it be like to be on the floor to really call out some of the nonsense?
Yeah, man,
particularly nonsense that was spoken by most, of, if not all, of the black Democrat leadership in Springfield.
Yeah, I was a deer with caught in the headlights, man. If I went back there now with what I know now and the confidence that I have now, I had no confidence when I was down there. And they put me on all these committees, man. I was completely lost, and that's when I just started watching, and then that's when I started to start talking. I did most of my talking committees and not on the floor because I felt like the floor leaders, they were the people that could speak on the floor, but I did all my hard hitting in committee meetings. Because I think that's where you hash out all of the problems and the issues with the bills, and you prepare your floor leaders with what was said in committee.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. As a reporter, I was always looking for that different point of view.
Right.
I didn't care whether it came from the left or the right. I thought it made my stories better if I was able to talk to people who opposed whatever the prevailing thought was on the floor, because that way, that's democracy.
Yeah,
that's the essence of democracy.
I hate that word, bro.
And reporters, I think, are responsible. To that.
The reason why I hate democracy, because democracy is what people make it. I truly believe in a constitutional republic, because that's what guides us. That's that light that guides us through the darkness, and I think that's some of the biggest problems that we're facing right now is people are not looking to that guiding document called the Constitution of the United States of America. We believe in, I mean, there's a new group, this far left group that believes in this living, breathing Constitution that they can make it whatever they want it to make. Our founding fathers were brilliant. I have this book called from Heritage Foundation. They're all in the news today because of Project 2025. But I have this book, Heritage, on the Constitution of the United States of America. I've read it like 3 or 4 times. I told you, I'm a policy wonk. I'm a nerd when it comes to reading. I've read over 2,800 books or more in my lifetime. I love to read. I love to gain knowledge, because I think so many people don't want to become knowledgeable. They want to listen to what people are saying to them. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have sheep voting. I call it sheep voting because sheep like to, what do? Put their head down and eat and move along. Whatever the sheep manager, whatever it's called, shepherd, tells them to go, that's where they go. And I think that's what you see a lot in the Democrat Party. What do you say?
Well, for sure. I mean, they depend on that. I mean, particularly when it comes to black voters.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want people to be informed. They try to stop them from being informed, and they do everything they can. And then of late they've been using this whole racism thing. If you disagree with them, then you're a racist. I don't care if you're black yourself.
Right.
If you disagree with the party, then somehow you're a racist or you're an Uncle Tom or a sellout or whatever because you don't agree with the party and what it does. And unfortunately, they've been getting 95% of the black vote, not only here in Illinois, but around the country. But I think that's going to change this time because more people are waking up to what they're really about. And also they're looking around themselves.
Yeah.
And they're seeing what's happening in their communities, in their stores, in their government. And they're losing faith in these people because they're not living up to the promises that they've made.
Well, that's true. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Craig from Mount Greenwood. What's up, buddy?
Hey, good morning, John and Charles.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, listen, Dan and Amy did real well with bringing you guys together as the truth duo there on AM.
Thank you, brother.
Anyways, really appreciate it. Let's hear it. Hey, you guys are exactly right about something you've been talking about, and that is how things have changed a bit. And it's because if Trump did nothing else, and he did a lot more, but if he did nothing else, he was like truth serum to bring out all kind and expose in a major way, not only all the shenanigans going on and everything, but all the various individuals, all the individuals coming out with all their being so insane after him, and it exposed them on both sides, Democrat and Republican. And now here's where the rubber meets the road. All kinds of people that were on the other side before, and I've talked to them, and a couple of them are in my family, a couple of my friends at work. They are 100% over on our side now. They see it. They see how rotten the left is. They see how, hey, Trump wasn't really bad. He was really good for us. So I'll tell you what, that 75 that Trump had, and I believe it was more than 75 they were subtracting from him, is going to be 95 this time. 95 million.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Thanks so much for calling us, Greg. But Charles, I mean, if Trump doesn't get help, he can win the election. But if he doesn't have the Senate and the House, there's really not much he can do.
Well, I tell you what, I think that keeping Donald Trump is no panacea, saint, whatever you want to call him. He had to learn what's going on in the swamp.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that Donald Trump didn't know. He couldn't know, but he knows now.
Yeah.
And I believe that his second term, had it happened in 2020, would have really gone into under the hood, so to speak,
right?
To really root out a lot of the problems. And I think that's what would happen or will happen in a second term.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are saying, oh, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to put people in jail. Yeah, some of you need to go to jail. But at the same time, I think he's going to he's going to redo it.
Yeah.
He's really going to drain the swamp this time around because he knows where all the proverbial bodies are buried.
And I think he's going to really put his people in these positions of powers this time.
Absolutely.
I think he listened to he thought he was listening to people who he thought was helping him, but he realized because look at most of the people that were in his cabinet. None of them are endorsing him. None of them are supporting him.
Well, those were the traditional mainstream Republicans, many of them.
Yeah.
And they were bureaucrats. They were people that had been there for many, many years, somehow involved in the swamp.
Yeah.
I don't think those people are going to be back this time around.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Marty from Naperville. Welcome to Chicago's Morning Answer with John and Charles. Marty can barely make you out. You're going to have to call back, Marty. We can barely make you out. Sorry about that. Let's go to Mike from Hammond. Mike, welcome to Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, thanks for the call, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, the big thing for me is Biden has been feckless since the Afghanistan withdrawal, like you said. Not one person was held to account. And then they didn't learn a lesson, and people died in his previous Middle East confrontation when the Houthis and the Hezbollah were firing rockets, and three military died. And then the gall of this guy to say nobody died under his watch. We're a military family. My wife's brother died in the Marines. That was the biggest insult you could say was, nobody died under my watch. It was like, oh, my God, this guy just got to go, period.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks so much, brother. I really appreciate it. We got the Prime Minister of Ireland. This is the first time that I've been in the chair. He's called. Kevin, welcome to Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, you too, guys. I'd like to talk with you for a few minutes about some terrible late-breaking news in Chicago politics. But first, did I hear you say that you admitted to being a nerd?
Yes.
You admit to being a nerd.
I'm a nerd.
Did I hear you say you were a confidence man?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to establish a few parameters. And you thought the great political reporter was Ahmad Rashad or Shamad Radad, one of those famous Black Americans.
That's correct. I'm glad you said black and not African American. Go ahead.
We don't believe in that term African American. Am I an Irish American? No. I'm an American who happens to be 50% Irish.
Good for you.
Good for
That's
you.
great.
That's what I believe.
Oh.
That's what
Okay,
I
I've
believe.
got some late breaking news for you guys.
Go ahead.
You made fun of the great mayor, Brandon and his Johnson, over the fact that he blew $30,000, which goes very far in Ireland, over his haircut. You gentlemen know what I'm talking about, correct?
Yes, we do.
You know,
Very well aware.
Mohawks are not the easiest cuts.
What's the dude from Guardians of the Galaxy? That's the haircut he looks like he has, just smaller. Handu, whatever his name is.
Well, $30,000. A lot of people said that Brandon Johnson blowing that kind of money on haircuts made him look bad.
Okay.
But that's a joke, you see.
I got it. That's why I laughed.
Okay. So he has reformed, and he's gotten on a new fiscal policy where he's going to bring in a great deal of money for the fine city of Chicago. And this past week he was blaming the Republicans when Dan claims that there hasn't been a Republican mayor in almost 100 years.
True.
But so Brandon's fix is a brilliant thing, and I want you guys to rally around it. Will you please?
Go right ahead. We will.
He is forming a franchise under the Gimme Dat corporate structure of, shall we say, brothels that will be registered by the city of Chicago, and they're under the name, and he's tested this name, it's a great name, the Home for Wayward Models, the halfway house on Half Day Road. These poor girls will be working for the city, bringing in revenue, tourist money, money from depressed husbands. When Dan says he's not going to take a lovely wife, he would not be the kind of guy to go to these places. But the halfway house on Half Day Road, the Home for Wayward Models, is going to be in every neighborhood in Chicagoland, in the suburbs as well as the fine city. It's a very good way to make money for the city because these girls, their career as a model is over. They're 19, they're 20, they're 21. As charities go, it's very cost effective because these girls don't eat a lot.
All right, Prime Minister, you got to wrap it up.
Prime Minister,
you got to wrap it up, Prime Minister. We got to go to break.
Okay. Had Tiger Woods come to the Home for Wayward Models, he'd still be in fine fezzle today. That's my last comment.
Okay, my brother.
Great show, you guys.
Thank you, Kevin. Hey, I just love what he said. Give me that.
Give me that.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Oh my God, Charles. Kevin, he always makes me laugh when I hear him every morning on the Chicago Morning Ask, whenever he calls, especially when he's, I don't know. Yeah. You listen to Chicago Morning Answer. I'm John Anthony. He's Charles Love. Charles Love. He's Charles Thomas. We'll be right back.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Guevalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Charles, yesterday I told Amy that July is a special month, and Jesse Lee Peterson made it this month.
So listen, we celebrate White History Month in July. Did you know that?
How you know that?
This is our 7th year coming up.
7th White History Month?
Yeah, in July. You know why I started White History Month in July?
Not sure.
July just feels white.
Welcome to White History Month to all the people that are listening to the Chicago Morning Answer. It is now officially White History Month in the United States of America, and I'm happy for it. I'm glad for it. Charles, hour 2 coming up. Now on to Mike Scott in the newsroom.
A person of interest in custody after a Southside shooting. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
He's got something to prove. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Biden's first solo press conference of the year, wrapping up the NATO summit in D.C., may or may not do anything to convince Democrats in Congress asking him to end his re-election campaign. Fox's Brooks Singman.
Top campaign officials are expected to meet with Senate Democrats later today. Senator Peter Welch of Vermont became the first Democrat in the Senate to join the growing list of Democrat lawmakers who are calling on the president to step aside. Welch writing, quote, "He saved us from Donald Trump once, and and he wants to do it again, but he needs to reassess whether he is the best candidate to do so. In my view, he is not. But the party is still divided on the matter. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman is doubling down on his support for the president.
And President Biden is scheduled to attend 3 NATO summit meetings today, meet with Ukraine's president, and take questions from reporters at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. There's more optimism being expressed about a possible ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas in Gaza at talks attended by CIA Director Bill Burns. The Israeli military is warning civilians to leave Gaza City. There's a push to go after Hamas fighters taking refuge there. A triple murder suspect is caught in North London, reportedly an ex-boyfriend of one of the victims.
The manhunt ended in a cemetery. Kyle Clifford found injured by police and taken into custody. An alert went out for the 26-year-old after 3 bodies were discovered in the commuter town of Bushey, northwest of London. 61-year-old Carol Hunt and her daughters Hannah, who is 28, and 25-year-old Louise were found dead. Police say a crossbow was used in the murders. The victims were the wife and daughters of a prominent BBC horse racing announcer. One colleague broadcasting in tears, calling it a heartbreaking day. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The House passed a bill to require proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. It's not expected to survive in the Senate. America's Listing to Fox News.
68 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A boil water order remains in place for major parts of the Beverly, Morgan Park, and Auburn Gresham neighborhoods on the city's south side due to a water main break that happened Tuesday evening at the Roseland pumping station.
So we're currently under a boil order from a high-pressure broken water main in one of our pumping stations. We have about 20,000 households that are under a boil order right now.
The city issued that order around a leak in that high-pressure water main. The city says the main is back online and fully pressurized, but they're waiting for more testing. A few civic leaders believe that raising money to help combat violence in Chicago is a good idea. A few of those civic leaders joined Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday, announcing a pledge of $100 million in private funding for anti-violence programs.
The early returns on the approach have been promising. There's a Northwestern study that was published last November that found that those who had completed the CVI program were 73% less likely to be arrested for a violent crime in the following 2 years.
Pritzker yesterday saying the state is also pledging $175 million taxpayer dollars for that program. Authorities have identified the man killed in a wrong-way crash on the Kennedy. The wrong-way driver was heading eastbound in the westbound lanes when the accident happened yesterday near Cumberland. The victim, identified as Quinn Fraboni of Vernon Hills. A man charged with shooting 3 Ogle County Sheriff's deputies last month is pleading not guilty. Jonathan Gunaris entered that plea in court yesterday. One person is dead following a collision with a Metro train in Bellwood. It happened Wednesday as an outbound Metro train struck a pedestrian around 5 in the evening. Specifics are still being investigated. A 38-year-old man pronounced dead Wednesday morning after he was pulled from a vehicle that hit a curb, flipped, and then landed upside down in a retention pond in Wakanda near Garland Road and Main Street. Police Chief David Wormus.
We spoke with several dozen witnesses, and nobody physically saw the accident occur. They just heard it. So we can't precisely predict what happened right now.
Wormus saying in a statement the man's name would not be publicly released until after an autopsy is conducted today. Cubs 4-0 winners over Baltimore, a win to Shota Imanaga, while the White Sox split their double dip with the Twins, taking the early contest 3-1 and losing the nightcap 3-2. Rory McIlroy will be looking to defend his title when the Genesis Scottish Open tees off today. The news, a service of Valdecas Windows for the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality, professional-level window replacement service. Contact Valdecas Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella certified contractor at Valdecas.com. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
The Sean Thompson Show.
Who are these idiots in a room chanting 4 more years? Well, these are some of the cohorts of corruption. And the saddest part is they don't have to be the ones who are actually the profiteer, the welfare recipients who exist only because this party is willing to openly buy votes. And I thought it was fascinating last night. Truly, absolutely fascinating. But what to me was astonishing is the excuse. Did he have a cold? Is it herpes? What exactly does he have?
The Sean Thompson Show. Weekday afternoons at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, summer's here and the weather is beautiful. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Did you know that high blood pressure is the #1 risk factor for mortality? In fact, 1 in 2 adults have high blood pressure. That's a 50-50 chance you are a walking time bomb. But you, not Big Pharma, can take control of your blood pressure. Don't wait before it's too late. With 120 Life. 120 Life is a blend of great-tasting super fruit juices that can actually help lower your blood pressure. 120 Life is formulated with ingredients that have been shown to naturally help control high blood pressure and are endorsed by thousands of health professionals. You can try it yourself risk-free with their 2-week trial pack. Just go to 120life.com and use the code LIBERTY to save 15% and receive free shipping. They're so sure that 120 Life can noticeably lower your blood pressure in 2 weeks that they'll give you your money back if you're not completely satisfied. So you have nothing to lose but those high blood pressure numbers. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com. And remember to use code LIBERTY to save 15%. This is serious. This is your life we're talking about. 120 Life can help.
6:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee. Hot air roasted locally and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Online at papanicholas.com. Inbound Kennedy, 30 minutes, and climbing O'Hare into the Burn Circle interchange. Inbound on the Ike, you've got an overturned vehicle blocking 2 right lanes, and a rollover semi carrying scrap metal has spread debris on the roadway. This is inbound on the Eisenhower, right at the Tri-State. It's 54 minutes, and again, climbing into the old post office, and outbounders between Manheim and the Tri-State are gaping at that inbound crash. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Humid day, partly sunny. High today at 82. Clear tonight and a low 64. Sunshine. It'll be a nice day tomorrow. The high 85. Partly sunny. A thunderstorm in the area on Saturday. High 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
66 at O'Hare. Next news at 6:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning. I'm John Anthony, host of Black and White Radio, heard every Saturdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on these airwaves, joined by my good friend Charles Thomas, former ABC7 reporter extraordinaire.
Yeah, we are the B team.
The B team. Are we the C team? No, I think more of the C team.
No, but the B team, man. We the black team.
No, you and Dan are the B team, right?
We be the black team.
No, we may be the D team because Amy and I are the C team. Or is Amy and I the B team? Which one?
I said the B team.
I know, but I'm saying there's what, 4 different combinations that can happen here.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean.
So who's ABCD? Amy.
Look, I am an interloper, as they say. I mean, but I really enjoy being here because this is one of the only island of reason in this one-party state.
Correct.
Called Cook County, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
This is a one-party state, and this is the only voice, media-wise, that you can find.
Yeah.
In this region, really.
And people talk about me because my radio is on 560 The Answer, and it was when I was a cop. It was on 560. I used to listen to them if I was on the morning shift, the afternoon shift, and the midnight shift. I would keep it on AM 560. So to be on this station now, man, is something else. I never sitting in that patrol car. I would have never thought I'd be sitting here as hosting a radio show in the morning, especially this show.
Oh,
because you remember Don Wade and Roma. I mean, they were just like, remember them? They were amazing. I used to listen to them in the morning as well. So I miss them, though. You know who that is?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I worked in the same building with them for many, many years.
Yeah.
But a lot's changed.
Yeah.
A lot's changed, and America is so divided right now, and people do not want to hear what the other side has to say. And that sliver in the middle, they're going to be the difference. Those are the people that are going to make the difference.
But see, I don't see that as a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
I see. No, I like that. I like that people are impassioned about. There's so much passion, rather, I should say, about what people are believing. What I have issue with is people over talking people and not having those conversations. I'm a conversationalist. If we disagree, I want to break bread with you. Even if we walk away, not coming to an agreement on where we stand, I still want to have that conversation. I've always been that way, Charles.
Yeah. Well, you know, I heard both sides of the conversation during 45 years as a reporter. And at the end of it, I mean, things changed for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a Democrat family. Father was a hardcore Democrat. He voted Democrat every time. And I did. I voted Democrat every time. A lot of that has to do with growing up and living in Chicago, where you only have Democrats on the ballot.
Yeah.
But I saw the light, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I saw the light.
Good.
And I've changed.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, and it's been a process, but I would hope that other people can see the light. I don't agree with everything conservative. I don't.
Right.
But at this point, for this country, this is the best way to think about politics and about where we're going in the future.
Well, you know, I've been called the Rhino because I'm willing to have people on my show that I disagree with. And doesn't mean they're going to change my position on where I stand. It's what I find, Charles. I've been called the Rhino because I had Richard Irvin in my studio for three hours, right? And I told Richard Irvin, I said, when he was running for governor, I said, you need to come on my show. I said, because I'm going to challenge you, and you're going to have to answer questions. And when he came on my radio show on Black and Right, heard every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m., shameless plug, he said, you know, I had so many people calling me, and especially my YouTube guys. They were like, if Richard Irvin had come on your show prior to running, I probably would have voted for him. Because he wasn't willing to come on and answer the hard, tough questions about where he stood.
Blame that on his handlers.
It definitely was on his handlers.
Blame that on his handlers.
It was definitely on his handlers. But I bring people like that into my show because they're newsmakers, and I want people to hear their position, their side. And then you make the decision, right? Isn't that how it used to be, Charles?
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to hear both sides and then make a decision. But now people do things like call, Donald Trump, for instance, everything under the sun.
Right.
And they don't even listen, and they don't look at the result.
Right.
They just go with this propaganda, whatever you want to call
KGP
it.
going off because she's saying that they were being too hard on her. Did they forget what happened with Sarah Huckabee Sanders? Did they forget what happened to Kayleigh McEnany, how they were treated? at their time as press secretaries? Did they forget what happened to Sean Spicer?
And then she'll turn around and say that it's happening to her because, I mean, I'm not quoting her, but people like her say that it's happening because I'm black.
No, it's not.
It's happening because I'm a lesbian. It's happening because of some other reason other than your content, what you're saying. And that's what people need to start to look for again.
Right.
What are people saying?
Well, I'll tell you what people say. I'll tell you what the mayor of Chicago is saying. We'll play this audio, then we'll take these calls. But I'll tell you what the mayor of Chicago, he was at an event in Chicago, I think it was at Grant Park somewhere, and he had this to say.
Now look, white supremacy is real, y'all.
Say that.
I'm going to say that one more time.
Say that.
Because in case the city of Chicago don't know, you got a black mayor with a black wife, black children on the west side of Chicago. And all of these other administrations that shut down our schools, that shut down public housing, that raided the pensions, that sold off the parking meter, that sold off the Skyway. Those people ran this city to the ground, and now they expect a brother to fix it in a year.
Say it.
Well, guess what? We're off to a great start, and I look forward to fixing they mess, building up our communities for the next 23 freaking years. God bless you, Chicago. Southside.
Charles, they're cut from the same ideological cloth.
Man, I tell you, man, it's like Rahm was a racist. Richard M. Daley was a racist.
Yeah.
They were white supremacists.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I didn't know that,
Well,
man.
I mean, Chicago is MAGA country, so, I mean, come on.
Rahm, Richie, give us a call, man, and defend yourself. I mean, he said that during some time ago.
Yeah, but no, this was July 6th. He just recently
That was
said
July
this.
6th?
This was July 6th. He was at some picnic.
Well, this is not the first time he said stuff
I
like
saw
that.
you saw the.
He said that July 6th?
Yeah, he said. I remember when he said it, but that was at a press conference when he said, "Remember, I got a black wife."
Yeah, I remember he said that before.
Yeah.
Even during the campaign, he would come across like that.
Right.
But it's outrageous. It's just outrageous.
Charles, I mean, you know, I'm sure if there's any black people listening right now, they're going to be calling us the Coons and Uncle Toms.
Yeah, that's all right.
I had to correct somebody on my Facebook page the other day because I was defending Project 25. Well, I was defending Trump on Agenda 47, and she immediately called me Uncle Tom. To all those, here's a public service announcement. To all those people out there that call black people like me, who believes in critical thinking, who has a mind of his own, who makes decisions based upon what he's been through in his life, Uncle Tom was a hero. So Uncle Thomas.
Uncle Thomas, right?
Uncle Thomas. You are an Uncle Tom, right?
Well, I'm an uncle, yeah. I've been an uncle before.
But I'm so sick of it. I had a clip. I just sent it to Justin about Dr. Umar Johnson, basically calling us black people who support Trump, basically saying that we have a slave syndrome.
Oh,
I am sick and tired.
It's just the opposite.
It's just the opposite. I'm so sick and tired of these people trying to tell independent people who actually have independent thoughts and can rationalize and reason and have a mind that can produce thoughts. I'm sick and tired of these clowns telling us that we're the coons. We're the ones, you know, dancing and what's the blackface man name? The one they always call, he was a black man, he had blackface, Bojangles.
Oh, okay.
You know, we're the guy that's, clowning for the white man. I'm so sick and tired of that type of conversation. You know what? I want to be successful. I want people that listen to me to understand that there's success out there, but there's so many people that want to hold you back from this success. And no one can hold you back. Charles, I'm telling you, your greatest enemy is you, yourself.
But look at Brandon Johnson. Here's a black man who has risen to become the mayor of the nation's third largest city. Is that racist?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
How did I ask my critical friends that all the time. Yeah. What happened to you? How did you? Well, I just got, not me. I earned everything. Well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, why can't you tell a young person to earn it, to go out and do it? America is there for you. You got people, you got people selling everything they own. People in the Congo,
yes,
selling everything they own to get to Mexico so they can go waist deep in the Rio Grande River
That's
to
right.
come to this racist place.
Well, not just
What's
that.
up with that? They know more about being black than you do.
Come on. And but don't call them black. They'll cut you. You call anybody from an African nation black, they'll cut you, brother. They will cut you if you do that. Trust me, I got a lot of friends that I live out with in Plainfield who are from the Congo, from Cameroon. I made that mistake of calling them black, and they wanted to cut me. But Charles, instead of having a message that says, you know, and a lot of it happens in our schools. You know, you look at CTU. I remember, I won't say her name because she's no longer with us, but she hated me. She called me a traitor to my race because I stood for school choice. School choice is important. And I know there are people who are homeschoolers who don't believe and, you know, don't really want the school choice. But there are 50, 60, 70, 80,000 people in these black communities that need it. Right, Charles?
Well, look, that's people complain about their schools. School choice allows you to take control of your schools.
Yes.
You at that point are the voice. You do not have someone downtown telling you what you have to teach your children.
Right.
If you don't want your children getting involved in these cultural wars, then you have that control.
That's true.
And that's what school choice is. And black people should be out front, given the fact that we have the worst schools.
Yes.
So is this a way for us to take control of our schools? Of course.
But they know
It's
this.
common sense. No, the CTU and others who benefit or profit from the public school system, of course they're going to oppose
Yeah.
it.
And I'll tell you this. They don't send their kids to these same schools that
Of
they
course not.
are in control of. Right?
Your girl, what's her name? Stacey Davis
Yeah.
Gates, private school, man.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. You listening to Chicago Morning Answer. We'll be right back.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Your show keeps me alive during the week. There's nobody I'd rather listen to between 5 and 9 in the morning than you guys.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I love taking Balance of Nature. It makes me feel sparkly every single day. It's just an amazing product.
I'm Rick. I'm in the best shape of my life. I play a lot of golf. I work out and ride my bike. I'm 63 and I can still almost hit a golf ball 300 yards. I mean, when I'm in the gym, I can do 90-pound dumbbells. That's what I did when I was young. As long as I'm living, I'll keep taking my Balance of Nature.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code
Chicago. When you're in chronic pain, you're miserable to be around, and so are the people who have to watch you suffer. So stop it. Do something about it. Now's the time to be proactive and take care of yourself. And there's another solution other than surgery or drugs. Call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, they have a cutting-edge treatment that revitalizes your joints with your body's own healing process. So if you have arthritis or if you're in pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, back due to an injury, you need to call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation and get your life and mobility back. You know, I've been to one of their clinics. I met a few of their customers. They were smiling from ear to ear, so happy to have their mobility back, pain-free, without surgery. They have locations all across the Chicagoland area, including new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. Call for a free consultation, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955.
This is Sean Thompson. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have somebody else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement, but you don't have a plan customized to your goals, it's like kind of taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in the suitcase. Sounds like a stressful way to begin what should be a relaxing time. Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to reduce future taxes, address Social Security and health care, and a whole lot more, all with a clear, defined income strategy. Call the Alpha Wealth Group at 630-934-1855. Ask for the complimentary retirement plan. That's 630-934-1855 or online at alphawealthgroup.com. And listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on AM 560.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors in Roselle. Summer is here, which is the ideal time to let the sunshine in and brighten up the house. Make those rooms that may appear small, dark, or dingy look better and bigger with larger windows or patio doors. Our highly skilled installers can enlarge openings if your space allows. For decades, Woodland has been transforming living spaces with Marvin windows, featuring styles ranging from modern to traditional. Marvin replacement windows and doors can also bring your backyard right into your living space. Ask us about connecting the inside to the outside. Since 1969, our professional services, along with the best products and installation, are why we are proud of our great online reviews. Need new windows now? Buy now, pay later with 0% financing for 18 months. Terms and conditions apply. Visit woodlandwindows.com and schedule an appointment today. That's woodlandwindows.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Uh-oh. DJ Justin in the house, baby. Welcome back to Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm John Anthony filling in for Dan. He's Charles Thomas filling in for Amy. Charles, I'm having a good time with you, brother. You can tell I'm getting excited now,
I have
right?
a great time being here in the morning. A little early for
I don't know
an
how they
old
do
retired
it.
guy.
I don't know how they do it, Charles, every day.
Well, I can do it the first day. It's that second day that gets me, man.
That's
'cause
so true.
I haven't completely turned around. Then the fourth or fifth day, I'm generally fine. But then I go back to my regular life, and
yeah, that's true. Well, you can tell I'm getting my mojo going. Let's go to Ron on the south side. He got some words of encouragement for us, Charles. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, look here, boy. This is really a pleasure. And, people attack me on different stations. Ron, he a sellout. He used to be. So guess what? They're going to double down today. They're going to say he was talking to John and John.
This is true, Ron.
Yeah, they were trying to ban me up the down because I told a lady to bring Charles on. But look here. Hey, guys, how any black person, and particularly in this state, city, and county, could be a Democrat? I don't get it. And lastly, most people, guys, I'm just going to be honest. When you try to explain to them about choice, I quit doing it. I said, go to the library, pick up Milton Friedman's book, Freedom Choice. I have no time and patience to educate you.
Great book.
But something real important. Anthony, John, we grew up in the same neighborhood. When you mentioned, I grew up on 87th and Parnell. When you mentioned,
no way, we probably know each other.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm too old. I'm older.
When did you leave? When did you leave the area? When did you leave the area?
Well, look here, I graduated from Ryder in '73, but see, that's from public schools.
I went to Ryder.
I know you did. And see, I've heard this before, and I've been meaning to mention this to you when you mentioned yesterday about the lot. Our lot that we played baseball in was on 87th and Normal. But yeah,
I know the lot.
My family, my family bought our home there on 87th and Parnell in 1963.
Wow.
We just recently sold our family. So I just had to share that with you. That see, we have other things in common. Now, what year did you graduate from Ryder?
Oh man, 1990.
Yeah, see, I went. Yeah, I was way gone. But so I just had to share it. But I just have to encourage you all and let you all know how much I enjoy and talking to you, and I support you all the time.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Guys. Keep up the fight.
Dang, thanks, Ron. We weren't able to get your story in, but we'll talk about your story, Charles, with former Superintendent Eddie Johnson, who's coming up next. Because I mean, what happened just the other 2 nights ago was just insane, and it's happening all across Chicago. Now on to Mike Scott in the newsroom.
In Chicago, we have 66 degrees this morning. 6:30 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning, everyone. Officials say 2 Polish coal miners remain unaccounted for, and at least 10 have been injured after a powerful tremor, perhaps an earthquake, shook a coal mine. Rescuers are struggling to reach dozens of others. The cause of that tremor is not clear at this time. President Biden hosting his first press conference since last month's debate with Donald Trump. Biden will speak at the White House around 4:30. Meantime, the president is scheduled to meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the NATO summit.
All eyes will be on President Biden this evening as he looks to prove to his own party and the world that he is still up for the job. The make-or-break press conference comes as top campaign officials are expected to meet with Senate Democrats later today. Senator Peter Welch of Vermont became the first Democrat in the Senate to join the growing list of Democrat lawmakers calling on the president to step aside. The party is still divided. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman is doubling down on his support for the president. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer could be open to dumping Biden. Axios reporting that in public, Schumer's been insistent that he's for Joe, but in private, he is singing a different tune. Brooke Singman, Fox News.
Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter trial in New Mexico continues today. Rescue teams say they pulled 54 people from the Rio Grande River late Tuesday night near El Paso. Crews from Texas and New Mexico work with the Border Patrol to rescue the migrants, some of whom were suffering from hypothermia. Is raising money to help combat violence in Chicago a good idea? Few civic leaders believe so, joining Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker to announce a pledge of $100 million in private funding for anti-violence programs.
The early returns on the approach have been promising. There's a Northwestern study that was published last November that found that those who had completed the CVI program were 73% less likely to be arrested for a violent crime in the following 2 years.
The commitment comes after more than 100 people were shot in Chicago over the extended 4th of July weekend. A woman found guilty of the gruesome death of her landlord on Chicago's North Side in 2022 is being sentenced to 58 years in prison. Sandra Kalalu denied murdering Frances Walker before she was sentenced yesterday, angering family members like Andrew Walker.
It's just extra sad that it was like one of the best people that I knew in my life.
Kalalu was convicted in April of first-degree murder. She was arrested in October of 2022. $150,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to the arrest of a suspect accused of robbing a postal worker on Chicago's South Side at the end of June. Cubs strand 10 base runners, but still round out a 4-0 win over Baltimore at Camden Yards. Christopher Morel, a home run, showed Imanaga the 8th win of the year. White Sox split a double dip with the Twins, winning Game 1 3-1 and surrendering Game 2 3-2. The news, a service of Waukegan Roofing. For commercial roofing, replace or repair, contact the company that's been replacing and repairing commercial roofs in Chicagoland since 1914 and shares your values. WaukeganRoofing.com. Emergencies welcome. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is preparing for what's next.
They know it's over for Joe Biden. It is completely and unequivocally finished. So now the question becomes, who's it going to be? And now we have to consider the fact that whoever they put in there to replace Biden could perform better against Trump.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 Gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3083. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3083 now to secure your 1904P $20 Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3083.
This is Sean Thompson. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have somebody else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement, but you don't have a plan customized to your goals, it's like kind of taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in the suitcase. Sounds like a stressful way to begin what should be a relaxing time. Tom Fortino at Alpha Wealth Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to reduce future taxes, address Social Security and health care, and a whole lot more, all with a clear, defined income strategy. Call the Alpha Wealth Group at 630-934-1855. Ask for the complimentary retirement plan. That's 630-934-1855 or online at alphawealthgroup.com. And listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on AM 560.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Audible. Make sure you take Audible on your next flight. Travel with incredible selections of audiobooks and originals all in one app. Sign up free for a trial at audible.com. Eden's at 30 minutes, Lake Cook Road to the junction. Inbound on the Ike, you've got an overturned vehicle bottling up two right lanes. That semi rolled over carrying scrap metal. There's debris all over the roadway this morning. 68 minutes from 390 into the old post office. Watching the Ryan jam up on the south end right now. 23 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. Tri-State accident on the left shoulder. It's on the northbound side of 294 between 75th up to 31st, the scene of an accident, so your delay begins at 75th. The accident, now shoved off on the left shoulder, involves 5 vehicles. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. We'll have partial sunshine and a high of 82 today. Clear and 64 overnight. Sunny and pleasant tomorrow, high 85. Currently 67. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. America First with Sebastian Gorka. Weekday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
Charles.
Yes, sir.
4th of July weekend. You know how many people were shot?
Over 100.
109 people.
Yeah, and 21 have now
killed.
Yeah.
There were, according to Alderman Ray Lopez, there were 500 incidents captured on ShotSpotter. So that
500.
500, he said.
I know, and the cops don't really. I mean, they hear them, but what can they do?
Yeah.
It's just shots fired, and they go there. There's nothing at that point. But let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
Something happened to me just 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't 4th of July weekend, but 2 nights ago, I'm retired, so I'm up at 1:30 in the morning, and I'm reading. I do that a lot because I don't have to go to work. About 1:30 in the morning, I hear shots. But let me tell you where I live.
Yeah, go ahead.
I live in that part of the West Loop between, like, see those high-rise apartments between Randolph.
What do rich folk there?
Between Randolph and Jackson, that high-rise apartments. I live in one over there.
Yeah.
So I'm in my apartment reading. I'm on the 8th floor, and I hear shots. I hear a couple of 3 or 4 rifle shots, and then the rest are automatic pistols,
right.
semi-automatic pistols,
right.
obviously. So I'm going, whoa.
Yeah.
This is downtown. Clearly there had been a running gun battle on the Kennedy Expressway.
Downtown Chicago.
Yeah, downtown Chicago. This is 1:30 in the morning. And I'm going, whoa.
That used to be the most protected area of all of Chicago.
Not anymore. It's one of the most dangerous areas because the crooks, the thugs, are now stealing the car, driving it down there because they believe they can get a better car down there. They can hold somebody up and get some phones down there, as opposed to in wherever they came from.
Right. Well, the mayor laid the fault at certain people's feet. I just want you to hear what the mayor has to say, and then I'm just flabbergasted.
So we cut off the pipeline of boys between the ages of 10 and 19 being either victims or the perpetrators. So, yeah, it is personal. Black death has been unfortunately accepted in this country for a very long time. We had a chance 60 years ago to get at the root causes, and people mocked President Johnson, and we ended up with Richard Nixon. I'm going to work hard every day to transform this city. That's what it takes to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago, and I need everybody to step up.
Joining us to discuss this and more, former superintendent of Chicago, and in my opinion, one of the best ones they had, former Superintendent Eddie Johnson. Welcome to Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, good morning, gentlemen, and thank you for that. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, you really were. You understood the issues. You came up through the ranks. As you know, I'm a former police officer myself. Also, we have something in common: Cabrini Green housing projects.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I lived at 1130 Larrabee and 624 West Division. And
yeah, 1159 Larrabee for me. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, I almost true story. I almost died, and the firefighter saved me when I was a baby. I had a seizure, and the fire department right there on the corner there, Division and Larrabee, they actually saved my life.
Yep. I remember those days. Yeah.
So, Superintendent, before we get into all that, what happened in Chicago, I've always wanted to know, and I know you guys couldn't talk about it while you were still under the employment of the city of Chicago, but we never really get a behind-the-scenes look of the pressures of the job of being superintendent of Chicago. What are some of those pressures that come from the fifth floor? And you're a cop. You come up through the ranks. You know policing. You know how to police. And then you have this politician comes along and try to tell you how to do your job. Give us a look behind the scenes of what that actually looks like. Because I look at David Brown. I liked him in Dallas. I look at Snelling now. You can see the pressure on his face. And he really wants to turn loose the men and women of CPD and allow them to do their job. What's the inner workings that happen when it comes to the fifth floor and the superintendent's office?
So of course I served under two mayors, Rahm Emanuel and then the other person.
Yes.
So what I would say is this. Rahm Emanuel, for me, he was a great partner because the politics of the city, he really kept that away from me. He just wanted me to concentrate and focus on being the police superintendent. And believe it or not, I know what we think of, in terms of the mayors and the superintendents, but Rahm Emanuel never tried to get me to do anything in terms of being a police superintendent. He listened to me, and he actually let me be the police superintendent. Now, I will say this. Once he left, the dynamics kind of changed because, in my opinion, Lightfoot thought that she knew how to be the police better than we did. Mm-hmm. And so that puts added pressures on everyone. So under Emanuel, I really felt no pressure from City Hall. And I was fortunate as a superintendent because talking to some of my predecessors, that just wasn't the case.
Wow.
But for me, it was fairly easy in that regard because he just didn't dabble in that. He would listen. He actually, I would give him credit for him actually educating himself on what was going on and what we actually needed. And guys, I'll tell you this, he never told me no when I would go to him and ask him, for different things, different legislation, equipment, more funding for training. He never said no.
Wow.
Superintendent, private citizen Eddie Johnson, do the bad guys, the crooks, fear the Chicago police anymore? I remember the time they used to. If they saw the cop, they go the other way.
That's right. And see, so the answer to that is no, the respect level is really not where we want it to be. And really, it's not so much they don't fear the police, it's that they don't fear the consequence of what will happen if the police catch them. So there's a lot of disrespect out there now. And it's a tough time to be a police officer in the city of Chicago. It really is.
You know, I live on the west side, as I said earlier, and I live near the police training academy. And I see the officers running, doing their physical fitness thing. And I'm noticing that I saw a group a couple of weeks ago, about 25 cops, trainees running together, and half of them were women.
Wow.
They were 5'6", maybe 115, 120 pounds. I got to think that the average height and weight of the Chicago Police Department has gone down dramatically.
Yeah, it has. I can recall some of the last classes that we promoted while I was still superintendent, seeing exactly what you're describing now. So here's the thing. Because of the anti-police narrative across the country, recruitment is more difficult now. And so in the black community especially, you have this no snitch thing going on. And so a lot of the younger folks that we need to come on the job, they just won't do it in the black community because of that. And let's face it, who are the people that's promoting the no snitch thing? That's the bad guys, because they don't want you to do that. But most of the people in Chicago, I tell you guys this, there is an overwhelming majority of people in the city of Chicago, especially in the black neighborhoods, that want the police in their neighborhoods, and they don't like the lawlessness that's going on. The only thing they ask is that the police treat them respectfully and fairly, and that's not a big ask.
But
it should.
Superintendent, how much of a problem is 26 in California? And I mean the courts and the DSA that's over there. How much of that it lends to a lot of the disrespect as it relates to, because I remember growing up, you didn't take pop shots at the police. You didn't do any of that. People were literally fearful of. We had this guy named RoboCop on 87 Halston. We didn't mess with RoboCop because RoboCop would throw you on that hood, and you didn't want to get thrown on the hood by RoboCop. But how much of that is a problem as well?
Oh, that's a huge factor, because if bad guys don't think there's a consequence, what people have to understand is people out here committing crimes, they don't so much worry about the length of time they might get in jail if they get caught. What they worry about is if there's a consequence. So if there's not a certainty of consequence, then they're going to continue the behavior that they do. And that's the problem. You have to prosecute folks out here when they do wrong. And some people deserve to go to jail. And you look at our surrounding counties, DuPage, Lake County, counties like that, they don't play around with people like that. But in Cook County, the consequence is just not what it should be, or the certainty of consequence. So 26 in California plays a huge role in that, and it leads to disrespect, not just for the citizens of this city, but the police officers that we're asking to do that job.
Eddie, we're going to talk about this in more detail later on in the broadcast, but what do you think about using these so-called violence interrupters, many of whom have had issues with the police in their individual pasts? What do you think about using them to somehow quell the violence in the city of Chicago?
Well, I'll put it like this. I think if you can find the right people, then that helps. But here's the problem. When you talk about violence interrupters and you talk about folks that were in that life, the issue with the police department is this. They might be interrupting during certain times of the day and then swinging dope during other times of the day. So I had a reverend, when I was a commander of the 6th District, that's when the violence interrupters really got off the ground with T.O. Hardeman and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So this one Reverend Autry, he had violence interrupters. And what he did was when he hired someone, he would bring them into the police station, introduce them to me, and I would take them down to the TAC team so they would know who they were. And what that did was put those individuals on notice that the police knew who they were. And so it worked really well in that regard. But when you just take folks off the street and you say, hey, do this, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars to do this, how do we really quantify what they're really doing, and how do we really know it? Because a lot of it is based on them not actually interacting with the police. So they can say all day long that they're doing this and doing that, but how do we really know? So personally, if we could put more controls over it, you know, because look, I'm for anything that'll help, but the way it's structured, I don't really particularly like it the way it's structured in Chicago.
Wow. Let's talk about the violence in over the 4th of July. I mean, 109 people shot. I mean, there were 500 incidents caught on ShotSpotter, which they're trying to get rid of. But those are war numbers. Those are war area numbers. How does something like that happen in the city of Chicago, Soup?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I don't ever recall a holiday weekend where it's been like that. You know, so how it happens is that, here's the thing. Remember back in the day, we had real gangs with hierarchies.
Yes.
In the 1990s, the police department, unfortunately, did too good of a job bringing down the leaders of the gangs. And an unintended consequence was that it fractured the gangs in Chicago. So they were no longer under one umbrella. So now what we're looking at is cliques. So block by block, they might all be, you know, a particular gang, but they're different factions and different cliques. And they beef with each other all the time. And so now we have a twofold issue in Chicago. The old issue of fighting over gang territory or dope spots, that's always going to be there. But then the other thing we have to worry about now is the social media beast, and that's what's causing a lot of this stuff, unfortunately. And that's something that we really can't control.
And you don't get enough credit for the cleaning up O Block, you know, the area over there where Corey Brooks' church. I know Corey had a lot to do with it too, but you don't get enough credit for clean, because that was one of the highest incident areas in the city of Chicago, right?
That's right. It absolutely was. And we dug into it and cleaned it out, you know, and that takes a lot of focus. And I'll tell you guys this, you know, going back to Mary Emanuel, so the numbers of the police department had dipped, and I convinced him to, and it didn't take a lot of convincing. He brought the numbers back up to about 13,500. So you look at a city with 2.7 million people.
Wow.
Roughly, you know, we got 77 neighborhoods, and then roughly, I think about 225 square miles of geography we have to cover. I wish we were living in a city where we don't need the police in those numbers, but we do. The reality is we do. And now they're down to like 11,000, you know, just over 11,000. That's difficult for them to navigate all the stuff that they have to take care of in the city in terms of keeping down crime, because they just don't have the numbers like that anymore.
Yeah. We got about a minute and 30 left. I want two questions, and make it quick. Is Chicago ready for the DNC convention? And do you think we should separate out and make the superintendent position an elected position in Chicago?
I don't think we should make an elected position. I really don't. I think that the mayor should have, because the mayor's going to live and die with that superintendent. So I think that, you know, they should have the autonomy to kind of choose the person. But as far as the DNC goes, you know, I talk to the superintendent from time to time. And then, of course, I talk to, you know, cops out on the street. Now, he's assured me that they are ready, you know. So all I can say, because I'm not in there, is I hope that is the case. And then you get a lot of outside resources. You know, you get officers from surrounding cities and things of that nature. Right. So I think they can handle it as long as City Hall lets them do what they need to do. So I think, you know, hopefully, look, you always got to be concerned about it. You really do. You got to be concerned. And ShotSpotter is one of those tools, in my opinion, that helps us navigate a lot of the stuff, because 70% of calls ShotSpotter don't go reported by citizens. So ShotSpotter fills that void, so at least we know where it's occurring, and if there's a potential victim that needs assistance, it directs the police there. So that's what I'll say about that.
Well, former superintendent of Chicago PD, Eddie Johnson, thank you so much for joining us on Chicago Morning Answer. Hey, listen, you got to come on my show now. You know, we've been going back and forth in text, but you got to come on Black and Right on Saturdays from 4 to 7 one day.
You know what? Just let me know, and I'll do that. So, John and Charles, you guys have a great day.
All right,
thank you so much.
Former superintendent of Chicago PD, Eddie Johnson. He really doesn't get enough credit for the job he did as far as comp stats and lowering a lot of the crime across the city of Chicago, Charles.
Well, you know, I think the city was certainly a quieter place in those days. I look at results.
Yeah.
I look at results. Not that it was anywhere near perfect.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than it is right now.
We'll be right back.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you searching for the perfect gift that's as thoughtful as it is practical? Look no further than Old Town Oil. Our exquisite selection of extra virgin olive oils and balsamic vinegars make for the ideal present for any occasion. Whether it's corporate gifts to impress clients, employee gifts to show appreciation, or birthday gifts for that special someone, Old Town Oil has you covered. We've spent years building relationships with small family farms in Spain, Italy, Greece, Chile, California, and other major olive growing regions to bring you delicious, unique products that you won't find elsewhere, with retail stores in Evanston and Chicago's Old Town. Stop in to sample our artisanal olive oils such as Meyer Lemon, Tuscan Herb, Garlic, and Blood Orange. Or try our balsamic vinegars like Fig, Lemon White, Pomegranate, Peach, and more. Visit our website at oldtownoil.com to place an online order and explore our full range of products. Again, that's oldtownoil.com. Use promo code AM560 for free shipping.
My name is Dr. Dave Anspaugh. I have co-authored a wellness textbook, which was the #1 bestseller. And I do about anything that I want to do. I still take care of my own lawn, and I go to the health club. We'll go 2-3 miles on the treadmill there. I've been taking Balance of Nature about 6 years. It has convinced me that it's a great product. I enjoy playing golf. I will go out there and go down to the green and go back and do it once or twice more. Seems like being retired, I've got more going on than I did when I was actually working. I stay active. You know, I do about anything I want to do. As long as I'm breathing the air, I'm going to be taking Balance of Nature.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off your first set as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. While supplies last, go to balanceofnature.com and get this limited time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
What does it take for organizations to triumph? It takes the trust of people like you. And that's why an estimated 14 million givers look for the ECFA seal. Over 2,700 leading ministries across the U.S. display ECFA seal, demonstrating that they live up to biblical standards of financial accountability, responsible governance, and trust. So next time you donate, look for the ECFA seal, a widely recognized symbol of trust. Visit ecfa.org/trust to learn more.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land. It's the place where you get to do so much waiting. You can wait in traffic, drive-thrus. You can even wait at the doctor's in a room specifically made for waiting. It's Land, baby. Come and sit patiently for a while, then wait even longer. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing, and it's even more relaxing when you protect your boat with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know, Charles, the people of Chicago shouldn't have to live the way they live, under constant worrying about being shot.
But it depends on who lives in Chicago.
Right.
I mean, Chicago has lost its black middle class.
Yeah.
It's gone, man. It's in living in
But it's still
South
in
suburb.
Austin, though.
Huh?
It's still in Austin, though.
Austin?
Some parts of Austin,
Man,
yeah.
Austin's overwhelmed by poor people.
Yeah.
Now, man.
Now Austin used to be the premier side of the West Side.
But it's not large enough to really have that kind of impact. You know, you look at neighborhoods like the 21st Ward.
Yeah.
You look at Chatham.
That's where I'm from.
You look at these were rock solid black middle class neighborhoods back in the day, and now they're just not. Those people live in the suburbs.
Yeah, Chicago, there is better, vote better. Now on to Mike Scott in the newsroom.
WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
It could be a make or break kind of day for President Biden. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. He takes questions from reporters today at the end of the NATO summit in D.C. as now 10 Democrats in Congress are saying publicly, more privately, that he is not capable of re-election.
This is the president's first solo press conference since last November. He's given fewer interviews and fewer press conferences than any of his immediate predecessors. Yesterday, the White House faced calls from Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, basically both indicating that what he's saying about his intention to remain in this race might not be the final answer. There are more and more reports of Democratic leadership sort of nudging the president toward the door and gently asking him to change his mind.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. The president's news conference is scheduled to start at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. The House could vote today on a resolution fining Attorney General Merrick Garland $10,000 a day until the Justice Department turns over audio of President Biden's special counsel interview last year. It was 3 million. Now 1.3 million homes and businesses are still without power in Texas, mostly in the Houston area, since Hurricane Beryl hit Monday. The utility company says a little more than half of those people should have power back by Sunday.
For the second day in a row, the heat index is hitting triple digits. It's been hard for the Melgar family to find a crew to help them get a tree off their fence and shed.
You got humidity. You have price gouging, you have things like that kind of happen, and there are people that do take advantage of vulnerable people or so.
CenterPoint, the energy company that handles power here in Houston, says there are 12,000 workers on the ground.
That's Fox Weather's Katie Byrne. 2 coal miners are unaccounted for in Poland. At least 10 are injured, some not yet rescued after an earthquake while they're below the surface. There's a fire in the spire of a medieval cathedral in Rouen that's in northern France. That cathedral's been evacuated. America's listening to Fox News.
.66 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A boil order remains in place for parts of Beverly, Morgan Park, and Auburn Gresham this morning. Neighborhoods on the city's south side are suffering and picking up free water from the city after a water main break.
So we're currently under a boil order from a high-pressure broken water main in one of our pumping stations. We have about 20,000 households that are under a boil order right now.
The issue centered around a leak at a high-pressure water main that has been fixed, but testing continues on that water supply. Chicago Public Schools proposing a nearly $10 billion budget for 2025. The district says the spending plan closes a $505 million budget gap, but it does not include expected salary increases since contract talks are ongoing with the CTU and the Chicago Principals Association. One person is dead following a collision with a Metra train. It happened in Bellwood Wednesday night. Around 5:30, specifics are unknown. And a blue-green algae bloom has been confirmed at Rice Lake within the Donata Forest Preserve in Wheaton. Park managers warn that algae can make pets and children, even some adults, sick. The Forest Preserve District will continue monitoring all of those water conditions. Cubs strand 10 base runners, but still pull out a 4-0 win over Baltimore at Camden Yards, while the White Sox split a doubleheader with the Twins. Rory McIlroy looking to defend his title. They're on the course as the Genesis Scottish Open tees off from the Renaissance Club today. The news, a service of Del Bacchio Marchetti Group of Properties, Christie's International Real Estate, experts in the northwest suburbs and Chicago. With over $800 million in sales, you'll get the most value for your home. Call 708-828-0000. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk is trying to dial down the temperature.
Left-wingers are now openly calling for the public assassination of Donald Trump. This has been a bad week to be a Democrat and a liberal. Do not take the bait. They want to trigger us because these are sick people. Things are about to get really hot, everybody. And we have to bring down the temperature. And we need all of us steady and stable at the wheel. Do not take the bait.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, summer's here and the weather is beautiful.
Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
When you're in chronic pain, you're miserable to be around, and so are the people who have to watch you suffer. So stop it. Do something about it. Now's the time to be proactive and take care of yourself. And there's another solution other than surgery or drugs. Call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, they have a cutting-edge treatment that revitalizes your joints with your body's own healing process. So if you have arthritis or if you're in pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, back due to an injury, you need to call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation and get your life and mobility back. You know, I've been to one of their clinics. I met a few of their customers. They were smiling from ear to ear, so happy to have their mobility back, pain-free, without surgery. They have locations all across the Chicagoland area, including new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. Call for a free consultation, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955.
7:07, let's get an update on the roads. In our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, we start on the Kennedy, 51 and climbing now, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Watch out on the outbound side of the Kennedy. As you're heading out to the big airport, right at Nagel, there's an accident blocking a right-hand lane. Inbound on the Ike, right near the Tri-State, you've got two right lanes blocked with a rollover semi carrying scrap metal that spread debris all over the roadway. And outbounders, you've got gapers to that inbound accident. Dan Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. You're also delayed on the Tri-State, and exit ramp is now closed due to an accident. It's the southbound off-ramp to the inbound Eisenhower. Traffic, a service of Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicago tradition for over 5 generations, combining heritage and innovation in every cup. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee because great coffee is their family tradition. Online, papanicholas.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Partial sun, humid day, high today at 82, clear tonight, low 64, and then mostly sunny for tomorrow and the high 85. Clouds and sun, thunderstorm in the area on Saturday, the high Saturday 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
66 right now. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning. Thought I'd put in one of my Dan Proft's quips. John Anthony here from the hit show Black and White Radio, heard every Saturdays from 4 to 7 p.m. right here on these airways, joined by my good friend, former ABC 7 reporter Charles Thomas. Charles, that was the first 2 hours blew by, brother.
Oh yeah,
it just blew by. Yeah, you know,
good conversation.
And you know, one of the things I really love talking about on my show is the state of Black America, and because I think sometimes as Republicans, I've yet to see here. I'll just use Illinois as my example. I've yet to see Illinois go to the Black community and say, "How can we help?" Instead, Republicans think they know what Black people need, and they try to just throw stuff at the Black community. And the Black community is like, wait, first of all, we don't trust y'all. there's no assessment as to say, hey, what is it? What can we do in the community? Like that's what I love. What Devin Jones over at the 18 Southside Republicans 18 Forward, what he's doing. He opened up the headquarters over there, and now he's really engaging. He's registering new voters. He's doing speaking engagements all over all the time with Latasha Fields and her husband Ronald. They're engaging in the community. When Latasha Fields was a lieutenant governor candidate, they were out there, brother, engaging into black community to say, listen, let's have this conversation because, and I remember telling former chairman Tim Schneider, Tim, let's do back to school things. Let's set up shop. I'm telling you, because the black community, in my opinion, is hungry for change.
Yeah, underwrite a little league team.
Yes.
Or several. I mean, do something like that. And that always distressed me, particularly in my role as a consultant for candidates.
Yeah.
It is, don't spend all the money on TV ads. All you're doing is enriching television stations and sale and account executives. Take that money and spend it in the community doing things, as you mentioned, that help the community and let them see that it's you doing it. And then people will react. Because let's face it, the Democrats are not doing it that way. All they're doing is paying political operatives. And we're going to get into that in a few minutes.
And joining us to discuss this is somebody I've always admired. Her and I have got a chance to talk a few times. I know she loves my aunt and uncle Hiram and Geronda Crawford a lot more than she loves me. Star Parker, who's the founder of CURE, Center for Urban Renewal and Education. The first taste I got of Star Parker was her book, Uncle Sam's Plantation. Star Parker, welcome to Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, thank you. It's good to be with you. I love being in Chicago, even though I'm not physically there right now.
Yeah.
I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, but
your folks.
I know you love my aunt Geronda from the Illinois family, pro-life, pro-choice. I know you. I mean, pro-life, pro-family. I know you love them a little bit more. I'm sure they're listening. So I had to give them that shout out. So I thank you so much for joining us, though. You wrote a book. I actually have the book, and I've read the book, The State of Black America. Star Parker, talk to the people in Chicago and across the world. What is the state of Black America today?
Well, it's interesting that you would start with the state of Black America because we did receive a cease and desist using that name letter from the Urban League. So we've changed to the state of Black Progress rather than fight them in court. Yeah, because we look at it this way. CURE came out with this annual tome simply because the Urban League consistently and continuously pretends that America doesn't work for African Americans, doesn't work for Black people. We felt someone needs to look at the real data and see, are we making progress? Have many Blacks bought into the idea of freedom? How many don't believe that the country's stacked against them and that they actually have a land of opportunity sitting in front of them, and if they would realize their potential, that perhaps they could live the American dream? So we did change it to the State of Black Progress, and what we're talking about here in this particular edition that's just been released is where are we on 4 fundamental areas when it comes to policy. Now, of course, Dr. William Allen and Janice Rogers Brown look at the governmental difficulties in the courts with inside of this tome. But the 4 areas where I have experts going into a deep dive to say what has happened in healthcare, what has happened in education, what has happened in housing, what has happened in economic stability, in terms of policy, where did we go wrong, where can we correct so that everyone in America can participate in this great country's dream.
When we talk about Black, this is Charles Thomas, the co-host today. When we talk about Black people in this country, whenever we raise the issue, or if I raise the issue of family, restoring the Black family, man, people go berserk. They don't want to talk about what we are doing to ourselves in terms of our marriage rate falling off the cliff, our single-parent households skyrocketing. Nobody wants to talk about that. What's your
interesting? I think about when someone's driving. It happens to couples all the time. When the husband makes a wrong turn. Thank God we have internet now. We have maps inside of our phones, but people still don't know how to drive. They just cannot seem to figure out that map. When you're taking a wrong turn, it's really hard to admit I've taken a wrong turn. And sometimes instead of just getting off at the next ramp and turning around and going back the way that you should to then make that left turn or that right turn, people keep going. And what has happened in African American community is we made some terrible decisions coming out of the civil rights movement, and we got on the wrong road. Rather than living the dream of Dr. King that said remove governmental barriers so that we can live free, so that we can have opportunities for housing, opportunities for education, opportunities for health care, opportunities to stimulate our own economic stability, we took the turn toward make them pay. We want revenge. We are not going to settle for just freedom alone. We are going to go after government intervention programs. So we got off the road of desegregation and went on a road for forced integration. In that dilemma for us, government not only started hiring our best and brightest to put them on the nanny state, but 5 years after King's death, we saw Roe v. Wade as national law.
Yeah.
So just picture the scenario. Right in the middle of the 60s, right in the middle of our movement for freedom, we saw a great society develop, a racist Johnson telling even the students at one of our most prestigious university, Howard University, that freedom is not enough. You guys cannot make it on your own without a nanny state. So you've got that in the mid-60s. By the time we enter the 70s, Roe v. Wade is national law, and we started killing off our offspring, which made our families collapse. Marriage collapses, family collapses. And so that's the reason, Charles, that people don't want to talk about it, because it's embarrassing.
Yeah. Okay.
We took the wrong turn. And it takes an adult to say, perhaps we should reassess ourselves. We might even need to go back to that moment that the Civil Rights Act was signed into law, the Fair Housing Act and the Voting Rights Act, and go up the different route. But we are so far, we're 60 years into this wrong turn that it's just hard for people to admit that, we made a mistake.
Well, Star, we had a mayor here in the city of Chicago that said basically said the same thing about 60 years, but in reverse, that it was Nixon that was right. I mean, Johnson that was right and not Nixon. So, I mean, when you look at
the people are still pushing that the government is our savior.
Yeah.
And and many of our the leaders of most of our urban core, we have 8,700 broken zip codes in this country, and they all have the same thing in common. Big government has taken over all private interests. Big government controls their schools. Big government controls their political environment. Big government controls all their family life. Big government controls all their jobs. Big government controls all the property, whether it's for private business and or for how you house. No, this is a real problem. And then you have these kingdoms of people that, like the mayor, I suppose you're talking, that want the status quo. They really believe that their problems and the problems of their city are somebody else's fault.
Right.
We're hearing the same narrative out of the Palestinians in Gaza.
Yep.
My problems are their fault, and therefore we don't fix what's right in front of us. But he has a vested interest in keeping the status quo.
Yeah, the last time a Republican received over 20% was Nixon, 32%, according to this article you wrote in Rocky Mount Telegram. Is there any possibility in your mind, because winds of change blowing among black voters, because I believe it. I believe Trump got 12% of the vote last time. He got 8%, I believe, was in 2016. Is there any shot at Trump getting 20% of the black vote this election?
What we know is that a growing number of black voters are coming to realize that the policy prescriptions of progressives have not served them well. And we're pointing to this in our tome. Many of our authors are pointing to where we got off track, as I said, in these areas. So, yes, are African Americans now rethinking? Well, why are many of them rethinking, especially our younger black males? Because they're 2 generations away from the civil rights movement. While they respect and honor their elders, their grandparent, maybe even their great-grandparent at this point, it's not their reality. 40% of African Americans live in the suburbs, so their interests are very different from those that are in the hard pockets of our urban core. We're looking at now 75% of black people live in the great middle class or above. And in fact, when President Trump signed into law the tax bill, within 1 year, we could see the data that we had more black Americans making over $75,000 a year than under $25,000 a year. Are there still problems that plague many parts of black America? Yes, but we're not talking about a one-size-fits-all community, so we cannot be talking about one-size-fits-all solution. So yes, people are very, very open to hear what is it that the Republicans are offering under the leadership of Donald Trump. Not just on a national level, many African Americans are living in red states that things are going well. Are they everywhere we want them to be? Of course not. The economy is affecting us. Inflation is affecting us. Illegal immigration is affecting us. We have crime. We can't even look over our shoulder anymore to see that we would be safe in our environment. But when you think about the policy prescriptions for making life better, our red states are far superior to the blue states today, and this is affecting the decisions of black voters.
Wow. She's Star Parker. She's the founder of Cure. Thank you so much for joining us on the Chicago Morning Answer. And I'm going to reach out to you because I would love to have you on my Saturday show as well. I'll text you.
Absolutely. We run in the same circles. Please do that. And you know, you guys keep fighting there in Illinois. I know that you'll think the whole state is called Chicago. Every time people say, what state are you from? Then you guys say Chicago.
Right.
But, you know, these blue states can turn red. They used to be red. So we want to stay hopeful. My residency is still in California, even though I work here in Washington, D.C. There's hope for the future because people want to live free. So, yes, absolutely. I'll look forward to coming on your show.
And I'll let the good holder, Babette Holder, know that I talked with you today as well. Because, you know.
You got all of my friends there.
Star Parker, follow her on X at Star Parker. Thanks so much for joining the Chicago Morning Answer. We really appreciate it.
Great advice. Vote your interest.
She is amazing. We'll be right back.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
My name is Dr. Dave Anspaugh. I have co-authored a wellness textbook, which was the #1 bestseller. And I do about anything that I want to do. I still take care of my own lawn, and I go to the health club. We'll go 2-3 miles on the treadmill there. I've been taking Balance of Nature about 6 years. It has convinced me that it's a great product. I enjoy playing golf. I will go out there and go down to the green and go back and do it once or twice more. Seems like being retired, I've got more going on than I did when I was actually working. I stay active. You know, I do about anything I want to do. As long as I'm breathing the air, I'm going to be taking Balance of Nature.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off your first set as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. While supplies last, go to balanceofnature.com and get this limited time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors in Roselle. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. Since 1969, we've been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows. From modern to traditional styles, Marvin replacement windows and doors can bring your backyard right into your living space. Make your home feel brighter and more spacious. Our professional services, along with the best products like Marvin, are why we're proud of our 5-star reviews. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door experts in Chicagoland. Need new windows now? Buy now, pay later with 0% financing for 18 months. Terms and conditions apply. Visit woodlandwindows.com and schedule an appointment today. That's woodlandwindows.com.
You've worked hard and accumulated wealth, but you know the pitfalls involved in passing significant assets to your heirs. The team at Spahn Financial will help you feel secure with personalized financial planning to achieve your legacy goals. They anticipate and manage all your wealth planning needs and focus on the full financial picture, including tax efficiency, income distribution throughout retirement, philanthropic giving, estate planning, and more. They even help you prepare the next generation to be good stewards. Kevin Spahn is a 2024 Forbes Best in State Wealth Advisor and Barron's Top 1200 Financial Advisor. Visit SpahnFinancial.com to schedule a consultation and to view disclosures. That's SPAHMFinancial.com. Forbes Best in State Wealth Advisors list, April 2024, data as of 6/30/2023. Barron's Top 1,200 Financial Advisors list, March 2024, data as of 9/30/2023. No compensation provided for ratings. Marketing fees apply to promote ratings.
One of the most important decisions you can make as a parent is where you send your kids to school. But these days, it's never been harder to know which school is best. Public schools have changed a lot, and you might be thinking about sending your child to a private Christian school. But you also know that private school can be expensive, and in this economy, you might think it's not an option. Well, think again. With halfpriceschools.com, you can purchase tuition vouchers for half the price of normal tuition for private schools. For nearly 10 years, halfpriceschools.com has helped families from all over Chicagoland make the dream of private school a reality. And that can be the reality for you and your child too. Just go to halfpriceschools.com, search for a private Christian school near you, and purchase a voucher. It's that easy. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Charles, that was a good interview with Scott Parker.
Yeah. What she said was, to black people, vote your interests.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's face it, the interest of a suburban black voter is no different from the interest of a suburban white voter,
Right.
Asian voter, Latino voter.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to deal with your property tax situation. My God.
Yeah, that's so
I mean,
true.
that's outrageous what's happening in the suburbs, particularly in the black suburbs and the south suburbs where many, many black people live.
And those property taxes are just exorbitant.
Yeah, and
through the roof.
we're still voting for these Democrats
Yeah.
who have basically shepherded these high tax rates. And it's ridiculous.
It really is.
And why? Why would you vote for somebody who's going to raise your taxes to the extent that they've raised taxes in the south suburbs on black people, black homeowners?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because their elected official is good to them. That's how they feel about it. I'm telling you, brother, the constituent service is a gold mine as it relates to being reelected. Because people are calling your office with needing help, and when you help them, they go and tell others that you've helped them. That constituent services is literally a gold mine as it relates, man. I'm telling you.
Well, the politicians they have aren't doing a very good job on property taxes.
But to them, they
in
are.
the south suburbs. They think so.
To them, they
property,
are.
Man, you can pay $15,000, $20,000 in taxes on a $400,000 home in a place like Matheson.
Yeah.
Which is outrageous.
That's true.
To me.
Let's go to the phone lines. Rich from Indian Head Park. Thanks so much for holding, brother. Rich, you there? Oh, the devil. Call back, Rich. I don't want to talk to Satan.
Hey, man, I had a experience.
What was that?
I don't know, man. It's the devil. Anyway, we're going to talk about this now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm reading.
Oh, you talking about that? No, 8 o'clock hour.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that at 8 because we got to get ready to go to break. And then we have.
Oh, got it. Okay, very good.
We
very
have
good.
Stephen
Hey,
Moore.
man, look, I'm an interloper.
That's fine. We have Stephen Moore here coming up after the break. I was just at the Northfield Township Republican Lincoln Day dinner, and he was the keynote speaker, and it was a very good event, Charles.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Stephen Moore.
I rarely go to events anymore, but I've started to get back out and attend these events. And that event is where I first got my radio show, Charles. I went to this event 5 years ago, in 2019. Came out of that event, met Dan Ehrman, got my radio show, and August 3rd I would have been on the radio for 5 years. So I'm a little excited about that I've done this for 5 years. I love it. I love doing it. I'm not really good at the technical stuff yet, Justin. Justin's laughing right now at me. As you know, calling, sending it over to Mike Scott, but I don't have to do that on my radio show. So, but I thank you and Quinn for stretching me and forcing me to do these type of things. It means a lot that I'm able to grow as I do radio, and maybe one day I'll have my own show. With that said, on to the newsroom with Mike Scott.
7:30 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Former President Donald Trump will apparently be announcing his pick to his running mate pick early next week. Former president telling Fox News' Brian Kilmeade he'll unveil his pick slowly over the next few days and into next week. President Biden hosting his first press conference since last month's debate with Donald Trump this week. The White House confirmed Biden will speak at 4:30 today. But some New York Democrats appear to be dropping their support this morning for Joe Biden's re-election bid. Our reporter in Manhattan is Scott Pringle.
Sources tell Axios that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is open to replacing Biden on the ticket. This comes after talking with donors about how to move forward. However, after that report, Schumer released a statement saying he supports the president. New York Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado, he's calling on Biden to drop out of the race, and that's in conflict with Governor Kathy Hochul, who supports the president's reelection bid. Hudson Valley Congressman Pat Ryan just announced that he wants a new Democratic candidate for president. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
A Texas detective is dead, shot this morning in what authorities are calling an ambush. It began Wednesday night at a pizza restaurant in Houston, where a customer, upset that his order was wrong, allegedly pistol whipped that employee and fled. An unidentified Harris County detective reported he had found the car. The detective was then found shot to death. The suspect is on the loose. A boil water order remains in place for parts of the Beverly, Morgan Park, and Auburn Gresham neighborhoods. More testing is being done today on that water. Is raising money a good idea to help combat violence in Chicago? Few civic leaders believe so, and they're joining with Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson to announce a pledge of $100 million in private funding for anti-violence programs.
The early returns on the approach have been promising. There's a Northwestern study that was published last November that found that those who had completed the CVI program were 73% less likely to be arrested for a violent crime in the following 2 years.
Pritzker said yesterday the state is also pledging $175 million taxpayer dollars for the Chicago area program. A $150,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest of a suspect accused of robbing a postal worker on Chicago's South Side late last month. And a 38-year-old man was pronounced dead yesterday after he was pulled from a vehicle that hit a curb, flipped over, and landed upside down in a retention pond. First responders with Wakanda Police and Fire were called to the water near Garland and Maine. Chief David Wormus.
We spoke with several dozen witnesses, and nobody physically saw the accident occur. They just heard it. So we can't precisely predict what happened right now.
Wormus said later that the name would not be released publicly until after an autopsy today. Cubs 4-0 winners over the Orioles at Camden Yards. Shota Imanaga win number 8, giving up just 6 hits over 6 scoreless. White Sox split their doubleheader against the Twins at Guaranteed Rate, taking Game 1 3-1 and losing Game 2 3-2. The news, a service of Turnkey.pro. Turnkey's real-time threat hunting defends you, your employees, and your customers from vulnerable cyber attacks. Shield that complete infrastructure from malware, phishing scams, and other threats. Visit Turnkey.pro. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes America saw the truth.
Prior to the debate, anyone who pointed out his disintegrating mental capacities was condemned as making up partisan lies. And now, all of a sudden, oh, he shouldn't run.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Building owners, property managers, and chief engineers. This one's for you.
Hello, this is Bruce Diedrich with Waukegan Roofing, your professional roofer. Everything starts on top. Your investment, your building, and everything in it is protected by your roof. it needs to be in good shape. That's where we can help. If it needs to be repaired or replaced, or you think it might, call us. Let's find out. Here's the number.
847-623-1625.
At Waukegan Roofing, our employees are union-trained roofing professionals with OSHA safety training certifications and have thorough knowledge and expertise regarding the various roofing systems we sell, maintain, and install. We know commercial roofing systems because that's all we do. Over 110 years of doing commercial roofs. Waukegan Roofing has the slogan,
Roofs you can rely on.
Because you can. Here's the number to call.
847-623-1625.
And get the info at waukeganroofing.com. waukeganroofing.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost.
Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-353-2973. That's 800-353-2973. What do you have to lose? Call 800-353-2973. Again, 800-353-2973.
What if I told you you can save a baby's life for just $28? Well, it's true. Preborn is a ministry doing just that with the help of people like you by offering free ultrasound sessions to pregnant girls and women who otherwise might choose to end their pregnancy. We know that pregnant girls and women who can see their babies on ultrasound are far more likely to choose life. Your gift today can save babies' lives. Just $28 can give a mother the chance to see the truth of the baby that is growing inside her. $140 can do this for 5 girls and women. Whether you want to save one baby or 5 or hundreds, that opportunity is just a click or phone call away. Call 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. Or go online to 560theanswer.com/preborn.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Brandon Tatum weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by Charlie Kirk at 7. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
7:38, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Traveling on the Eisenhower is a mess this morning. It's all due to a rollover semi that was carrying scrap metal. It's closed the entire expressway. You're diverted off at St. Charles. It's a major problem right now as emergency equipment begins to sweep the roadway clean from that much earlier crash. Again, the inbound Ike right now completely diverted off at St. Charles right now. Outbound on the Ike, you got a lot of people looking at that inbound accident and some high travel times, almost an hour from the old post office out to 390. Stevenson, accident, right shoulder, northbound at Central. And delays on I-57. You are jammed solid from Genoa up through the Dan Ryan merge. Traffic, a service of Windy City Safes. What are you doing to keep your most prized possessions safe? Windy City Safes is Chicagoland's only Liberty Safe dealer. Visit the Niles showroom. Call 224-LOCKBOX or online at windycitysafes.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Humid with partial sunshine today, a high of 82. Clear and 64 overnight. 68 right now. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back, Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm John Anthony. My sidekick and compadre today is Charles Thomas.
That's me.
Former ABC 7 reporter extraordinaire. You were a really good reporter too, Charles.
Now that I look at what's going on in the media, I got to agree with you.
We don't have that pit bull.
I wasn't the only good reporter.
Yeah.
There were some other good reporters out there who are no longer out there. Some not by choice. But I retired.
Yeah.
But I look at what's going on in the news today, and it just blows me away. I mean,
Mayor Daley used to look at you sometimes with some of the questions because you didn't play. You didn't skirt on your questions. You ask the tough questions.
Yeah. Are we going to do that thing?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, time is not because it has to do with reporting.
Right.
It has a lot
Right.
to do with how stories are reported. So stay tuned because I want you to see something in real time that's happening right now that's going to cost you a lot of money, and it's not going to have any impact. It's just going to help politicians. We're gonna talk about that.
Well, I know we're waiting on Stephen Moore to join the show, but did you hear what AOC did yesterday?
Yeah,
it was late breaking news.
Man, it seems like it was a failed attempt to distract from everything else that's going on in Washington right now. Of course,
right.
Joe Biden's undoing. It seems like she was trying to distract from that by pointing the finger at some other people,
Right.
the Supreme Court justices, that with whom she disagrees. She wants to bring the heat on them, but I don't think it worked
Let's
at all.
Let's hear what she has to say, and I want to get your take on it.
I rise today to introduce articles of impeachment against Associate Justices of the Supreme Court Clarence Thomas and Samuel Anthony Alito, Jr. Against Justice Thomas, the resolution includes 3 total articles. 1 count of failure to disclose financial income, gifts, reimbursements, property interest liabilities, and transactions, among other information, and 2 counts of refusal to recuse from matters concerning his spouse's legal and financial interests before the court. The second resolution includes the following impeachment articles against Justice Alito. 1 count of refusal to recuse from cases in which he had a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party before the court, and 1 count of failure to disclose financial incomes, gifts, reimbursements, property interests, among other information.
Wow. Charles?
As I said earlier, this is an attempt to distract from the real issue right now, which is Joseph Robinette Biden. It's not Clarence Thomas or Samuel Alito. And why she would do this now when the country has a very, very serious, critical, historic decision to make, she's going to do this now?
Right.
Come on.
Well, I made a post a couple of weeks ago talking about, because I saw the handwriting on the wall. I knew they were going to come after Clarence Thomas specifically. I didn't know they would come after Justice Alito. But I'm afraid of what this will do. If I was Mike Johnson, this is what I would do, Charles. Same thing Chuck Schumer did. Soon as it hit the Senate, guess what it did? Didn't go anywhere. The Mayorkas impeachment. He didn't even give it the time of day. Mike Johnson, if you got the kahunas, if you got the testicular fortitude, I wouldn't give this the time of day. I wouldn't even give it a committee hearing. What's his name should have did it last time? Senate leader Mitch McConnell. He should have did the same thing for both of those impeachments against Trump. The Republicans, they don't fight that game. Democrats, they will. They'll do whatever they have to do to make sure Republicans are not only shamed, but they run and tuck their tail in and run away. But Republicans are not willing to do that fight, right?
Well, I think at this point, again, because of the timing and what else is going on around her resolution or introduction or whatever it was, nobody's going to pay attention.
Correct.
Not now.
Right.
Not now.
Right.
And it seems like it's an election year ploy of some sort to put some people on record regarding these justices, and it just, again,
right,
the timing just isn't there.
Well, as I told you, Charles, the other day I was at Northfield Township GOP Lincoln Day dinner, and I had the opportunity to hear Stephen Moore speak. And one of the best parts of the speech, in my opinion, because I'm a huge school choice advocate. I remember I'm a former member of ALEC. This is where legislators go to get ideas to come back to the legislative body and introduce I introduced the trigger bill, the 51% trigger bill for the state of Illinois. It didn't go anywhere because CTU immediately killed it. But I want you to hear what Stephen Moore had to say at this speech, in his speech. And
great teachers are worth their weight in gold. The problem is you can't get rid of incompetent teachers. And so we have to have a system that rewards excellence and gets rid of the bad ones. And we ought to do that, right, John Tillman? Through every single child in Illinois should have a choice of where they go to school. Whether it's a Catholic school or Jewish school.
I really believe education is the great equalizer. Joining us to discuss this and more, Stephen Moore. Stephen Moore, he's I love that he works at Heritage Foundation, who's in the news so much now today because of Project 2025. Stephen Moore, I got to give video credit to Ilana Jen, who posted that video, and I snagged it off. Thanks so much for joining us, Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. And by the way, I didn't know I was on tape. I might not have. I've been a little more positive. I had such a fun time on Monday night. We had 600 people there,
Yeah.
and people were just rocking and rolling. And as I said at that speech that I gave out in Palatine, look, I think this is going to be a monster year for Republicans all over the country. And is Donald Trump going to win Illinois? No.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: he's going to drive out voters. We're going to win seats for city council. We're going to win school board races. We're going to win congressional seats. Because Trump drives out voters. He has coattail effects like no other politician in the last 30. The only other politician in my lifetime that drives out voters like that is Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
And so that was my message on Monday night is, we're not going to win we're not going to win Illinois in terms of the presidential race, but I think you could see massive pickups all over the state and in local races. So I'm excited about this. And it's the same thing all over the country. I mean, look, whether it's Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, they're both incompetent. Right? I mean, you pick the worst people that you would want to be in the Oval Office. So good, really good opportunities. But I was so excited to see, hey, there are actually 600 Republicans in Illinois.
Yeah, it was actually a good meeting. But, one of the things school choice is something. How important is school choice, especially in a city like Chicago, Rockford, East St. Louis? How important is that?
So, one of the points that I think we have to make as conservatives first and Republicans second. And by the way, I'm not a rah-rah Republican.
I know.
Republicans are, as you know, but look, they're better than the alternative, that's for sure. And one of the points, though, we have to make as Republicans is that this issue that you're talking about, giving every single parent and family in the state of Illinois and across America a choice about where they send their kids to school, and screw the unions. If they're against it, we have to roll over the unions on this because the purpose of the schools is for the kids. It's to educate the kids. It's not for the union. And so I believe, and I wonder if you guys would agree with me on this, I really believe this is the civil rights issue of our era. You've got a situation, as you know, guys know, I'm from Chicago. I love the city of Chicago. I think it's one of the 10 greatest cities in the world. But when you have a situation where you have over 20 schools in the city of Chicago where not a single child is reading or doing math at grade level proficiency, shut the damn things down.
Man.
Shut them down and that's child abuse. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, we've had experiences here in the city of Chicago where the school Urban Prep, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it was a school for high school age black males.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the CTU has worked its magic with Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is a CTU employee prior to becoming mayor. Shut it down because it was working. What? It was actually working. I mean, how do we?
Why?
But they've taken over. They've taken over, Stephen. The CTU now owns the Chicago Public Schools, and the fact that we're going to an elected school board, which means they're going to use the same political clout to control the school board.
Yeah.
We've got serious trouble here.
The real problem here is that who are the victims of these policies? It's not affluent whites. Nope. It's basically minorities and lower income people who don't, have to send their kids to these failing schools. And by the way, I'm an advocate of school choice. I've been all over the country. I've been to so many charter schools. I've been to a lot of the Catholic schools, the Christian schools, the Jewish schools, all sorts of alternative schools. And it is so exciting when you see young Black and Hispanic and lower income white kids, and they're excited about their school and they're learning things. And you go into the public schools, I live in Washington, D.C. I haven't been in the Chicago schools recently, but it's like a jungle. It's like, it's not a learning environment. The kids are yelling and screaming down the halls. There are people doing drugs, and, there's people fighting. There's no order in the classroom. And it almost brings tears to your eyes. And like, why do we allow this to happen?
Yeah. And you know what, Stephen, when I look, I'm a huge fan of Thomas Sowell. I know you're an economist.
Me too.
I know you're an economist as well.
I love that man.
I remember being a kid.
By the way, did you know he's 94 now?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's right. I talked to him a few months ago. He's writing another book. He's 94.
Oh my goodness. I've read all of his books actually. But I know you're an economist as well. I remember growing up and thinking about economists. I was like, wow, that's the nerd stuff. That's boring. But now that I'm older, reading his book, Basic Economics and Applied Economics, how can we do something in Black communities, brown communities, where they can grow a love of the economy, understanding what it actually means, because our public schools are not doing a good job at all as it relates to teaching kids about it. Because I remember we used to take classes. I talked to when my kids were in public schools, because I took my kids out of public schools. They weren't taught this type of stuff. How do we bring that back?
So the first thing we have to do, in my opinion, and I'm white, I'm not Black, I'm not Hispanic, I'm white, but we have to stop treating minorities like they're victims.
Boy,
did you see that speech that god awful speech that Joe Biden gave to I think it was Morehead State, one of the historically Black.
Morehouse. Yeah, Morehouse.
And remember,
Howard.
It was one of the most despicable speeches I've ever heard a president give. And he basically talked to these, proud families of their, the kids and the parents so proud of their kids graduating. And what is the message he gives them? Oh, you face racism when you go out. You're not going to be able to succeed in America because there's racism and this and that. What kind of a message is that? And then Biden says we're a systemically racist country.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, if my kids say that, I would spank them. This is the greatest country on earth. It is the least racist country on the planet.
Yeah.
We are the one country that is the only successful multicultural country in the history of the world. And when you have the president of the United States who defames our country by saying that we're systemically racist, outrageous.
Hey,
Stephen, you know who I received most racism from when I was a state representative in Grundy County, Will County, LaSalle County, and Kendall County. You know where I received most of my racism from? The Democrat population. It wasn't the Republican population. And I ran in a 95% white district. It was 0.002% of Black voters down there, and yet I still was elected.
Wow.
Listen, here's what I would say about that. America is not a systemic racist country. Does America have racist and racism in it? Yes, but it's not systemic at all.
That's right. I couldn't agree more. And yes, of course, there's racism in the country. Look, I was discriminated against because I'm a little short. I mean, but the thing is that we are the Black progress has been amazing in this country. Hispanic progress, but I want to go back to that point. I really do believe that the worst thing that the left does is keep telling black kids, like my hero was Jack Kemp. I don't know if you guys
I know Jack.
Sure. Yeah. Great American. And he used to say, look, if you're trying to teach your kid how to ride a bike, the first thing you don't start by telling them, oh, by the way, you're probably never going to be able to ride this bike, because it's hard. That's what we do with Black and Hispanic Americans. We say, oh, you're not going to be able to succeed in America. There's too much racism. There are too many obstacles.
Yeah.
And that's outrageous. Look at the So, no, you can succeed in America. That should be the lesson, not, oh, everybody's against you.
That's so true. Stephen Moore, I know you got to get going, but I really appreciate having a conversation with you. I love every time I see you. We have good. I didn't get a chance to talk to you this night. I was a little busy, but I didn't get a chance.
I know, I didn't see you there. I mean, It was such a fun evening, and God, I was so pumped up by people who turned out. I just think our guys are fired up right now.
I think we are.
Folks, you got to do your patriotic duty and vote in November and get rid of these scoundrels.
I think it's going to, from your lips to God's ears.
Okay, guys.
Stephen
Have a
Moore,
great weekend.
thanks so much for joining us, Chicago Morning Answer. I really love talking with him, man. I mean, have you ever had a one-on-one conversation with Stephen Moore, Charles?
No, I haven't.
Oh, man.
This was the first I've heard of him.
Live is different.
Of him, but
radio is one thing, but having a conversation with him live in person, he's so factual. He knows what he's talking about.
Well, when he talks about victimhood, he touches me, because that is my thing. We are not victims, we are victors.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is look at history and see it, and it's a great victory that black people have had in this hemisphere, in this country, I should say. And that's what we have to start teaching.
Yeah, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Fruit and vegetable ingredients have never been more convenient.
It's easy for me to recommend Balance of Nature. It's so simple. It's amazing getting the fruits and vegetables ingredients in 3 red and 3 green capsules.
I take Balance of Nature. I think it's a good product. It's convenient. It's a way to start off with a plus. I can do little capsules in the morning, and I'm off to work,
I would recommend Balance of Nature. It's so easy to do every day. I really am happy that I came across it. I feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great?
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and get 50% off your first set as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. While supplies last, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and claim this offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
When your home or business has an insurance claim, the next step is very important. The claim process with insurance can be tedious, hard to understand, and difficult to navigate. You need someone working for you. You need a licensed claim adjuster. Why? The insurance company will send out their inspectors that work for them, get paid by them, and represent them, not you.
This is Dan Lights from Crosscom. We inspect your property, file your claim, negotiate the damages, and maximize your settlement with your insurance company. If we complete the repairs approved by your insurance company, our service is free. Crosscom Public Adjusters has turned denied claims into approved claims. We've also increased insurance claims anywhere from 23 to 1,000%. We are licensed by the Department of Insurance and work in Illinois, Northwest Indiana, and Southern Wisconsin. Crosscom Public Adjusters, 630-871-5500. Online at crosscominc.com. That's crosscominc.com. Crosscom, building trust for over 20 years.
AM 560. The Answer.
Charles,
that's me.
We've settled on the boat cruise date. I can't say what it is just yet, but if you've not been on Black and White Radio's Live on Lake Michigan show, it's a must. You have to do it. I can't say the date just yet, but I'm really excited about the boat cruise.
Well, I'm on, man.
Yeah.
I'm on board, man.
It's a great time. All you can eat, all you can drink. And just show up, buy the tickets, and it is a great time to be had. If you've been on the boat cruise, I'm telling you, call in 312-642-5600. Tell us about your experience on that boat cruise. Because it's Charles, I'm telling you, my buddies at Free Spirit Yacht Cruises who allow me to use their yacht for that day, it's Captain Joe, it's an amazing time.
I
brother.
thought it was your yacht.
No, man, really? I don't have yacht money. What are you talking about? Please, I wish. If I had yacht money, you would know it. Trust me. Now into the newsroom with Mike Scott.
A driver intentionally hits a construction worker in Marengo.
Lower prices. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Another sign inflation's cooling off. The Labor Department's Consumer Price Index is 0.1% lower in June. Most economists are expecting a small increase in consumer prices.
For the year ending in June, the CPI rose 3%. Energy prices declined in June, though food prices rose slightly. Core CPI, excluding food and energy, rose less than expected, 0.1%, up 3.3% on an annual basis.
Fox's Jenny Casola. President Biden takes questions from reporters at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and people will be looking to see if he does any better than he did at that weak debate performance.
President Biden took 3 daggers yesterday. Nancy Pelosi seeming to reject his final answer that he is remaining in the race. Chuck Schumer reportedly signaling to donors that he is open to dumping Biden at the top of the ticket. And that George Clooney op-ed calling for Biden to drop out, saying the same Joe Biden that we all watched in that 90-minute debate performance was the same guy that he was dealing with at a fundraiser a couple weeks earlier, faltering in his old age. Politico reported this morning that Clooney actually gave former President Obama a heads up on what he was going to write and that Obama did not object to it.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. The president's news conference is at the end of the NATO summit in D.C. China's government's telling NATO to stay out of its business.
This strongly worded response came after NATO labeled China a decisive enabler of Russia's war against Ukraine. Beijing is close to Russia and claims to be neutral on the war.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Israel's military is telling civilians to leave Gaza City and head south as military operations against Hamas there intensify. Over the last couple of weeks, Israeli forces have re-entered parts of the city where they believe Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad fighters have regrouped. America's listening to Fox News.
.68 degrees. Some light rain showers are on the way at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A boil water order impacting several Chicago neighborhoods was lifted this morning. 19th Ward Alderman Matt O'Shea confirms to us the order covered Beverly, Morgan Park, and Auburn Gresham neighborhoods. About 60,000 people, many still lining up at Ridge Park for bottled water. But again, the city says that boil order impacting several South Side neighborhoods is lifted this morning. A woman found guilty of the gruesome death of her landlord on Chicago's North Side in 2022 is sentenced to 58 years in prison. Sandra Kalalu denied murdering Francis Walker in court before being sentenced. That angered family member Andrew Walker.
It's just extra sad that it was like one of the best people that I knew in my life.
Kalalu was convicted in April of first-degree murder, dismembering the body and then concealing a homicidal death. She was arrested in October of 2022. Chicago Public Schools this morning proposing an early $10 billion budget for 2025. However, that proposal doesn't include the expected salary increases that are part of ongoing contract talks with the CTU and the Chicago Principals and Administrators Associations. Cubs 4-0 winners over Baltimore. White Sox split a double dip with the Twins, taking Game 1 3-1 and losing Game 2 3-2. The news, a service of Blue Star Security. Support our police and hire the police to personally protect you and your business. Schedule a free security consultation at bluestarsecurityllc.com. AM 560 News Time, 8:04. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now, the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Delta Airlines shares are slumping after its profit only matched Wall Street expectations. Though airports are busy and bookings for summer travel are strong, Delta has too many available seats and it's dealing with higher fuel costs. The airline plans to slow its capacity growth and it expects the domestic market to improve in coming months. Higher prices are cutting into PepsiCo's business. Its earnings came in better than expected, but its revenue was disappointing. It's seeing weaker sales in North America and was impacted by product recalls at Quaker Foods. PepsiCo is also being more cautious about its forecast. And Apple has settled concerns in the European Union about its Apple Pay app. The company will allow third-party mobile wallet and payment services to use its technology. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Posolda, invested in you.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka sees a turn.
I think that Biden debated as well as Abraham Lincoln. If you dug him up right now.
They've turned. Jeff, you said something after we played through all of those, and you said something about Kamala. What did you say?
It's going to be Kamala. They're starting to roll it out on The View. It's definitely going to be her.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Scott Bartmus, co-founder of ESCO, a security and fire alarm services business, and a customer of Signature Bank. We work hard to give our customers peace of mind, so it's nice to know that while we have our customers' backs, partners like Signature Bank have ours. When COVID hit, there was a lot of uncertainty for many businesses, particularly surrounding the PPP loan program, with parameters and deadlines changing constantly. The executives from Signature Bank worked weekends alongside their staff, filling out and submitting applications to ensure they took care of us. That type of dedication is hard to find, but we found it with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
When I came across Balance of Nature, I knew this is the product for me because it just smelled real. Balance of Nature has fruits and vegetables in the ingredients. With Balance of Nature, I feel great.
Hi, my name is Tina, and I love playing music. I really love my music. I love it because it makes me feel happy, puts me in another world. It's awesome. I started taking Balance of Nature 2 years ago. I love Balance of Nature. It makes me feel great.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited-time offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Well, summer's here and the weather is beautiful. Everyone has a favorite outdoor activity: golf, bike riding, bird watching, long walks. Ask 100 people, you'll get 100 answers. But if everyday aches and pains are keeping you on the sidelines, I have one answer: Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, in 3 weeks or less, you'll start to feel the difference all day, every day. So whatever you like to do, swimming, pickleball, hanging out in the garden, Relief Factor can help you feel good again and let you enjoy all your favorite outdoor activities all summer long. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
8:08. Let's get an update on the roads. We do that in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center. We'll start on the inbound Ike. Remains a shutdown. You have solid traffic from North Avenue all the way into the site of a rollover semi that was carrying scrap metal, now spread all over the roadway, being cleaned up. You're diverted off at St. Charles right now on the inbound side of the Eisenhower. Delays as well on the Kennedy. Solid traffic outbound between Montrose and Nagel due to a much earlier accident. The inbound side of the Kennedy at 61 minutes from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Stop and go traffic on the Tri-State. An exit ramp is closed due to an accident The southbound Tri-State exit ramp to the inbound Eisenhower shut down again because of that accident involving a truck on the Ike. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Steve Williams.
Partial sun, humid day, high today at 82, clear tonight low 64, and then mostly sunny for tomorrow and the high 85. Clouds and sun, thunderstorm in the area on Saturday, the high Saturday 88. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
68 at O'Hare, 70 and light rain at Midway, and right now 69 along the lakefront. Your next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Wealth Health Radio with Joe Murphy, Sundays, noon to 1. Learn more online at mwmfinancial.tax.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the final hour, Charles Thomas. The final hour. This has been a very long day, but a very productive and good day, I believe. I'm John Anthony, host of Black and White Radio, heard every Saturdays from 4 to 7 p.m. Joined by my good friend, Charles Thomas, former ABC 7 reporter extraordinaire. Charles, you've had, what, a 40-year radio
45 years in the game. Worked in the West Coast, the East Coast. Most of my career, though, the last 30 years of it in Chicago, either for ABC News, the national bureau, or for Channel 7, ABC 7 here in Chicago.
You didn't hear
in Chicago.
You didn't hear my Kevin Hart reference. Damn! you young.
Well, hey, you're right. You old.
Wait.
I got that. I'm old.
Wait, you've been doing radio almost as long as I've been on. I mean, television almost as old as I've been alive. I'm 48, brother.
Yeah, you really.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been doing it as long as you've been alive and longer because I got out of college in 1973, University of Missouri.
Yeah.
So that's a year you were born.
I wasn't born, bro.
You weren't born.
I was born in 1976.
Right. So I was working professionally. By 1972.
I wasn't even a thought.
Raising my family, doing this kind of thing. In fact, I started at a country western radio station. It was then called KCMO AM, a 50,000-watt radio station in Kansas City, Missouri.
Wait a minute.
I love me some Kansas City.
Wait. Back that thing up. You said a country
western.
A black man running country.
And I was one of those, I guess, first hires, of a black person at a radio station.
Yeah.
And I went with KCMO Mod Country Radio.
Oh, my goodness.
I had a little Gremlin automobile car with a cowboy hat on top. And I would go to the stories
Afro?
with my – oh, did I have a fro, man? I got absolutely no hair right now.
Did you have the pick?
I had a pick. I didn't keep the pick in it, though, like the brother on the drums. I can't remember his name, but – anyway, yeah, but that's how it all started. Then went to San Francisco, worked there for about 5 years. Into Philly, worked there. Then to ABC News, and to my home in Chicago.
So what you're saying is you have a lot of institutional knowledge, and the reason why I went that way is because that there's a program that just recently is being implemented. But right after this, what happened with all of the shootings? What did J.B. Pritzker and the Chicago mayor come up with?
Yesterday, they had a big press conference. It was the governor and Brandon Johnson announcing a new program to address the violence in Chicago. And I put new in quotes, by the way. And it is a $275 million private government partnership. Is that what they call them? Private-public partnership to address the violence. They're going to do things like hire violence interrupters and have people in different social programs to address the violence in the city of Chicago. And to me, folks, this is part and parcel of what we're going to call systemic corruption in Illinois, led by, of course, your favorites, the Illinois, Cook County, Chicago Democrat parties.
Now, this was when Quinn was in office. They did something similar to this.
Oh,
When
well,
Quinn was the
14
governor.
years ago, huge scandal with Pat Quinn's, I think he called it back then, the Neighborhood Recovery Initiative. That was $55 million, which is probably about as much as $275 million today. But I think what we need to really understand is that it's $275 million for this program. $175 million, most of it, is coming from the state.
Wow.
And this money is going to be delivered to mostly not-for-profit organizations who are going to put the people in place to deal with the violence. The same thing that Pat Quinn's government did 14 years ago, 2010, when he, incidentally, was running for re-election. He would eventually lose because of the scandal involving, well, he lost in 2014 because of the scandal involved in the program. They were paying relatives and such and others who weren't really working on the violence problem. But in this case, this $275 million announced yesterday, $175 would be donated by the state. $100 million, as we've heard in the news this morning, would be donated by a private business.
Right.
But who cares about what the private business is doing?
Right.
How about this $175 million coming from the state?
Where are they getting this money from, Joe?
Well, it's coming from your tax dollars.
Exactly.
Your taxes. And this money, by the way, is going to be sent to these not-for-profit organizations, which, in my mind, are simply the precinct captains of today. Remember back in the old days, the Dems would dole out the money to the precinct captains, then they would put it on the street, and they would get the vote out. Well, now your tax dollars are going to be spent with these not-for-profit organizations.
The activist groups.
Yeah, the activist groups, for them to put people on the street. They aren't going to say anything bad about the government that's giving them millions of dollars in some cases and hundreds of thousands of dollars in smaller cases. They aren't going to say anything bad about JB or Brandon or any of the Democrats, because they're getting their money from the Democrats. And this is happening right now in real time.
So this is being implemented. The money is going out the door
in real time, folks. You're watching yourself being fleeced.
So
they're talking about solving the violence problem with money. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it isn't going to work, but they're doing it anyway. This is the same old playbook that the Quinn administration used in 2010. They're using now.
I got a question.
But as a football player, you know, if the play is working, you keep running it until they stop it. And they're going to run it again. They're running it right now. And this July 4th weekend was perfect for them, because now they can say, oh, we got to do something about the violence. They're going to just give money to people who are going to campaign for them.
That's exactly where I was going.
That's going to happen,
That's where I was
man.
going with it.
That's all that's going on. That's what Pat Quinn did in 2010.
So here's my question. There may be a couple of rep seats and maybe a couple of Senate seats that's up for grabs. Will this money find its way into those seats that are in jeopardy?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it will, because they're going to have
Isn't that illegal?
activists in those areas who are going to say, we got a crime problem, we're going to do something, and they're going to send some money, a couple of 100,000, maybe millions, who knows, depending on what they need, and those not-for-profits are going to be able to spend that money. That means those activists who head those not-for-profits are not going to be criticized anything that the Democrats are doing, and they can get their people on the street supporting the Cook County and Illinois Democrat Party.
But this is also a payback measure
of
for all of the
course.
illegal immigration money that is going out. This is to kind of quiet down the black community because of all the money that's been sent in the illegal immigration.
And you know that, and by the way, on that illegal illegal migrants or aliens or whatever you want to call them. Those people who own the buildings that the shelters are located in are donors, folks.
Yeah.
They are donors.
Yeah.
They're fleecing they're whatever amount of money that has been spent on the illegal migration. That money is being funneled to their donors who own buildings that migrants are kept in. The Sun-Times did a story about this last couple of weeks. That donors, people that own the buildings in Chicago where the migrants are sleeping every night, are donors.
Wow.
Come on, everybody.
It's
Come
insane.
on, everybody.
Let's take a couple of calls. Let's go to Tom from Oswego, Kendall County. That's where I'm from, Tom.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
First of all, let me say this is a total waste of money. Second, is there any accounting who's getting the money? And these companies that are donating $100 million, first of all, why would they do that? Because they know it's not going to do anything. But I think we all know that there's got to be some type of favors.
Of course.
To them, whoever these companies are.
Of course. Well, this is how they build out their political operation. This is how they, when it's time. Thanks so much, Tom. When it's time for J.B. Pritzker, if he runs for president, he runs for governor again. This is how, or anybody else, Kwame and all those guys. This is how they build out that operation, right?
This
Charles?
is exactly how they build out the operation. This is how they use our money to
Taxpayer
fund
funding.
their campaigns.
Yes.
That is the most outrageous part of it. If you can find a donor somewhere who wants to give you money so you can run your campaign, run your stuff, your left-wing stuff, fine.
Yeah.
But when you use my money to do this,
It's insane.
No.
Yeah. Let's go to Bob from Buffalo Grove. Thanks so much for calling back, Bob.
Yeah, good to talk to you, John, and great to hear you, Charles. You were talking earlier about your boat cruise.
Yes.
Hopefully, I will be able to attend it this year. I had a great time last year talking with your fellow listeners and hearing your broadcast on the boat. And then for me, being an engineer, I get to look at the skyscrapers that I helped design along the lakefront.
Oh, nice.
So I'm hoping to see you in the fall or whenever you're going to have it. And I want to have a conflict.
It's somewhere in there. I won't say the date, though.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. I hope you can make it, man. I really appreciate it. Let's go to Rich from Indian Head Park. Rich, welcome to Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Charles. Great
morning.
to get a chance to talk to you two guys.
No problem. What's up, buddy?
The way I look at things is the Democrats need to stop blaming everything on Trump for all the wrong things going on in the country. They need to start telling the American people what they're going to do to make their lives better. They have to stop talking about abortion and start talking about the economy, about the high gas prices and the high interest rates so people are able to buy houses. And another thing they need to stop talking about is climate change. They need to start talking about how they're going to make the city safer from all of these crimes. And they need to talk about the border and how they're going to secure our border. And lastly, they need to stop telling minorities that this is a racist country when they know that this country gives more opportunities to people than any country around the world. So these are the things that I wanted to hit on.
Yeah.
So I wonder what you guys think about it.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Rich.
Good call.
He's right in a lot of those areas. But I think the Democrats want to keep the topic, the issue, abortion. Here in Illinois, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, they
absolutely
want,
nothing.
You know, the thing what troubles me about the whole abortion issue is that conservatives, we have to suffer the collateral damage of the abortion issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm anti-abortion.
So am I.
But when it gets to the point where you have all these suburban white women who are flocking to the polls, one-issue candidates, and they're forgetting how much they're paying for bacon, how much they're paying for eggs, what the interest rates are. They're forgetting about all that just for abortion.
Yeah.
They got to start thinking it through, that this is a multifaceted world we live in. Yeah. It's not all about abortion.
That's
there
so
are
true.
many other concerns, but those concerns are taking collateral damage because of the abortion issue. And I think it's something that, Republicans and conservatives have to think about.
So true.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Are your file cabinets stuffed with work orders, invoices, bills of lading, medical records, and or compliance papers? There's a solution to clear the clutter by converting your documents into accessible digital form with the help of IDT. They can scan your documents for you or provide you with the technology to transform your workspace with easy and innovative IoT smart connected scanning technology. IoT smart connected scanning not only captures your information, it connects your documents directly to your existing digital systems, ensuring seamless integration and immediate access. Plus, it works with your existing Microsoft Office 365 technology. Convert those physical files into secure, searchable, easy-to-find digital formats. Goodbye, paper chaos. Hello, streamlined, secure digital environment. Visit ready4idt.com. That's ready, the number 4idt.com. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Do you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, it's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
What does it take for organizations to triumph? It takes the trust of people like you. And that's why an estimated 14 million givers look for the ECFA seal. Over 2,700 leading ministries across the U.S. display ECFA seal, demonstrating that they live up to biblical standards of financial accountability, responsible governance, and trust. So next time you donate, look for the ECFA seal, a widely recognized symbol of trust. Visit ecfa.org/trust to learn more.
Attention maintenance coordinators. If you manage an industrial facility, then you know how critical it is to manage a consistent maintenance staff. During outages, when you're short-handed, Vans has your back.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Whether you need one person for 8 hours or a large crew for a month, we can supplement your maintenance team. Our personnel are trained mechanics familiar with all material handling processes. Our expertise extends to fabricating, sheet metal, millwright, and ironwork jobs. Our men can work alongside your repairmen, or we can provide an entire crew complete with equipment depending on your requirements.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics insured at the highest level to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to schedule your maintenance team. That's 833-VANS-IND. Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANSindustrial.com. Vans Industrial, working safe since 1964.
Hi, I'm Charlie Moon. I've been in the trading game for almost 20 years, and I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trades it finds can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text TRADE to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text TRADE to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text TRADE to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Text TRADE to 76626.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
When I came across Balance of Nature, I knew this is the product for me because it just smelled real. Balance of Nature has fruits and vegetables in the ingredients. With Balance of Nature, I feel great.
Hi, my name is Tina, and I love playing music. I really love my music. I love it because it makes me feel happy, puts me in another world. It's awesome. I started taking Balance of Nature 2 years ago. I love Balance of Nature. It makes me feel great.
Splash into your summer with Balance of Nature's summer savings. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Don't miss out. This offer is only available while supplies last. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
You know what, Charles? It's always an honor to sit in studio with you, brother. And I'm having so much fun. What about you?
Man, I've had a ball this morning. I can't believe that these 4 hours have gone by so quickly, at least 3.5 of them.
That's true. Now into the newsroom with Mike Scott.
Outside 66 degrees, skies are gray, a little bit of rain to our west this morning at 8:30 on AM 560, The Answer. Officials this morning say 2 Polish coal miners remain unaccounted for. 15 have been injured after a powerful tremor shook a coal mine in the central part of that country. Rescuers are struggling to reach dozens of others. Inflation in the U.S. cooled a fraction in June for a third straight month. A sign the worst stagflation in 4 decades is beginning to fade and may soon usher in an interest rate cut by the Fed. President Biden is scheduled to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky later today as the NATO summit wraps up in Washington. More than 1 million customers in the Houston area are still without power today after Hurricane Beryl swept through southeast Texas on Monday. Funeral services are set today for a black man killed in a confrontation nearly 2 weeks ago with security members at a Milwaukee hotel. Brenda Giles is the mother of 43-year-old Devontae Mitchell.
Well, the way he did, that was devastating. That would never leave my mind. That's going to live with me for the rest of my life. And you know what? I always thought that my children would be the one that bury me, not me bury them.
The death of Devontae Mitchell has been likened by a few local activists to the death of George Floyd, with bystanders capturing video of 4 security guards holding Mitchell down. A boil order impacting several Chicago neighborhoods was lifted this morning, according to 19th Ward Alderman Matt O'Shea. The order covered about 60,000 people in the Beverly, Morgan Park, and Auburn Gresham neighborhoods. Cubs 4-0 winners over Baltimore. White Sox split a doubleheader with the Twins, taking Game 1 3-1 and losing Game 2 3-2. The news, a service of Windy City Safes. What are you doing to keep your most prized possessions safe? Windy City Safes is Chicagoland's only Liberty Safe dealer. Visit the Niles showroom or call 224-LOCKBOX, online windycitysafes.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk wants early numbers.
The thing we have to emphasize is how many voters are we registering, how many ballots are we chasing, and are we able to dominate in voting month? Election day is the last day of voting. The Democrats have run up the score in 40 days before Election day. We are going to do our part to try to close that gap.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Building owners, property managers, and chief engineers. This one's for you.
Hello, this is Bruce Diedrich with Waukegan Roofing, your professional roofer. Everything starts on top. Your investment, your building, and everything in it is protected by your roof. It needs to be in good shape. That's where we can help. If it needs to be repaired or replaced, or you think it might, call us. Let's find out. Here's the number.
847-623-1625.
At Waukegan Roofing, our employees are union-trained roofing professionals with OSHA safety training certifications and have thorough knowledge and expertise regarding the various roofing systems we sell, maintain, and install. We know commercial roofing systems because that's all we do. Over 110 years of doing commercial roofs. Waukegan Roofing has the slogan,
roofs you can rely on.
Because you can. Here's the number to call,
847-623-1625.
And get the info at waukeganroofing.com. waukeganroofing.com.
With over 3 decades of serving up streetwise insight and local perspective on Page 2, the voice of John Cass has a home at johncassnews.com.
I'm John Cass, and for too long, so-called progressives have been ruining our world. They've been stepping on us. They've twisted everything from the schools to the media in the hopes of crushing our liberty. Traditional media, mainstream media, like the paper, and anything else you see on TV, well, they're in on it. And that's why you need to join me at johncassnews.com for your daily cup of Midwestern common sense. Don't be a chump alone. Join me on the new frontier of independent journalism at johncassnews.com, where freedom and liberty still mean something. They mean everything.
Go to johncassnews.com to subscribe for daily access to podcasts and columns from John Cass and others. That's johncassnews.com. Click on subscribe.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time this morning. We'll start on the Kennedy, 71 minutes inbound O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. On the Ike, inbounders remain diverted off at St. Charles because of an inbound crash. You're backed up to York Road right now, all the way to the accident site at St. Charles. Rollover semi there carrying scrap metal. Again, traffic diverted off at St. Charles, and they're sweeping that out of your way. It's also bottling things up on the Tri-State, where they've closed a southbound off-ramp to the inbound Eisenhower. I-65 rollover semi just occurred. Accident, right lane block, right near the Lake County Way Station this morning. Traffic, a service of Summit Racing Equipment. Upgrade that hot rod or muscle car with parts from Summit Racing. Right now, shop summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Summitracing.com. Offer ends 7/21/24. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Humid with partial sunshine later today. High 82. Mainly clear and 64 overnight. We have light rain at Midway, 70. Cloudy in Aurora, 67. 67 at DuPage Airport. Partly sunny in Lansing. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Return of the Mac, baby. Oh, boy. Hey, Charles, Justin is a DJ. I think you missed your calling, Justin. You should be a DJ, brother.
You should be a DJ.
Welcome back to Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm John Anthony, filling in for Dan and Amy. Charles Love, the effervescent, greatest reporter Chicago's ever seen.
Oh, come on now.
ABC 7, Charles Thomas.
Well, yeah, I had a good time reporting. And I had a good time this morning, man, reporting. You know, the last story, we did, I really enjoyed it because it just ticks me off so much to watch this systemic corruption
Charles,
in Illinois.
Have you been paying attention to Project 2025?
No.
Okay. So what I find funny about it is where it was originally really launched. Mm-hmm. The BET Awards. Taraji Henson came out.
Okay, yeah. I just didn't know by that name.
Yeah, she had this 1-minute rant about Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're trying to do is tie Project 2025 to Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump has his own agenda. If you go on his website, his agenda is Agenda 47. Now,
and that's also an insult to the Heritage Fund.
It really is.
Absolutely. Come on. They've been out back there back in the day. I can remember reading the Heritage Foundation and its policies.
Yes.
And pronouncements.
Yes. Now, on this rant, she was basically just all this misinformation. Nobody challenged it. It was just, and then you just saw the floodgates open. I mean, even the president of the United States, listen to what he has to say.
Project 2025 will destroy America. Look it up.
No, the speaker, I mean, the Democrat minority leader in the House.
Only citizens can vote for the United States Senate. Only we embrace having a debate with our extreme MAGA Republican colleagues about issues that matter. Why won't you just take your issues to the American people? Why are you trying to hide your plans that are connected to Trump's Project 2025?
Now,
publicly,
joining us to discuss Project 2025 and more things is Brian Phillips. He's the Chief Communications Officer at the Texas Public Policy Foundation, which I had an opportunity to go down and back in, I believe it was 2015, when Rick Perry was running for governor. He was one of the speakers there. Brian, I mean, I'm sure you've heard all of the misinformation, disinformation about Project 2025. Put it to rest. Is Trump behind Project 2025?
Yeah, we definitely know that it's not whatever the left says it is. So we can definitely start there. What it is Project 2025 is an effort to restore the constitutional role of the federal government. I mean, it's really no more plainer than that, particularly the executive branch. And so Project 2025 is essentially two parts. It's the policies that you referenced, and we've got a book at project2025.org. It's free. It's downloadable. You can go read it. And it's got the policies in there, but it also has examples of how the federal government has repeatedly overstepped and trampled on our constitutional rights. And this is a major issue. It may not be the sexiest issues of the day, but it's something that goes back many decades and it is now deeply affecting and tremendously affecting the American people. And so we've got some policies. You know, it's a 900-page book. I wouldn't recommend necessarily reading it cover to cover.
I read it.
You did?
Yes, I read it.
Well, what I would recommend for your audience is if you're interested in, the IRS issues or the weaponization of DOJ or, eliminating Department of Education, those kinds of things, just start there. It's eminently digestible. You know, we don't talk in think tank speak. We really do explain the issues, particularly the egregious violations by the federal government in those departments and in those agencies. And we go agency by agency, department by department, explaining that, but also the reforms, the things that thankfully a president who could lead on these issues could go in and fix on his own. He wouldn't even need congressional action on this. And so that's the first part. The second part is training up, is developing and vetting individuals who want to work for the federal government, but those not necessarily that are MAGA hat wearing, whatever the characterization that the left has. It's people who understand that their role is to faithfully execute the laws, to not have their own agendas that undermine the current president, and to understand the limits of their authority. I mean, that's really your job, no matter who you work for, no matter what party you represent in the administration. Your job is to understand your role is to faithfully execute the laws that are passed by Congress.
Right.
And Brian, really what the effort is.
And Brian, I think there's a paid operation going on, because I read all 922 pages of the Project 2025. I actually agree with it. I said yesterday on the morning show when I filled in yesterday, I said, if you like bloated government, if you want to continue with a democracy, you're going to be against Project 2025. But if you want to see the constitutional republic restored, you are going to get behind Project 2025, because not only because I want to go through a few things, because Project 2025 on their X account, they did the facts and myths about Project 2025. The first thing they said out the gate was, we are not affiliated with former President Trump. We are a coalition of more than 110 conservative groups advocating policy and personnel recommendations. And here's what they said. And you can ask, I want to just go down a lightning list. The left is saying they want to end no-fault divorce. True or false?
False. It's not even in the book.
Okay,
There's
watch
nothing
it.
like that in the book.
Exactly. Wait. A complete ban on abortions without exceptions.
Again, not in the book.
Okay. Ban contraceptives.
No reference to that in the book.
Additional tax breaks for corporations and the 1%.
Totally misleading. We want tax breaks for every American.
Higher taxes for the working class. False, true or false?
Completely and totally false.
Elimination of unions and worker protections.
Nothing about that in the book. Completely false.
Now watch this. Raise the retirement age. True or false?
Again, we do a Control F search. Nothing in the book. It's 922 pages and nothing about retirement age.
Cut Social Security.
No.
In the Affordable Care Act.
Me personally, I would love
Yeah,
it in
so would I.
Obamacare, but no, it's not in the book.
Raise prescription drug prices.
False. Absolutely false.
Here's one that I'd agree with. Eliminate the Department of Education.
Absolutely 100%. But the areas where the federal government would have a responsibility, the very, very few areas in education, we could put those in other departments and other agencies.
Yeah. Use public taxpayer money for private religious schools.
Well, technically, we're giving money to parents who
That's
then
right.
determine where that money goes. And if they choose to go to a private school or a charter school, it's up to them. But we're not force-feeding taxpayer dollars into private schools.
And I'm doing this for a reason because I'm going to cut this audio. Trust me. In free and discounted school lunch programs.
False. Nothing like that in the book.
In civil rights and DEI protections in government.
The DEI, mostly false. We certainly are opposed to DEI programs, but not the way that they characterize it.
Right. Ban African American and gender studies in all levels of education.
Absolutely false. Nothing like that in the book.
Yeah. Let's see. Ban books and curriculum about slavery.
No, nothing about banning books, especially books about slavery.
Yeah.
Absolutely absurd and ridiculous.
Okay. Oh, here's another one. In marriage equality.
No, absolutely not.
Here was another good one. Condemn single mothers while promoting only traditional families.
I mean, if it's not the most ridiculous charge against us, it's definitely at the top.
Yeah, condemning. Come on, who would really use the military to break up domestic protests?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Eliminate federal agencies, and this one I would really love you to, because they completely lied about this. Eliminate federal agencies like the FDA, EPA, NOAA, and more.
Again, we are trying to streamline government. We're trying to make it less bureaucratic. And so a lot of these agencies have totally gotten off their actual mission, the things that they're supposed to be doing to serving the American public. The NOAA is exactly one of those organizations that has been completely overrun by those who are pushing the climate change radicalism. This is an organization that, of course, tracks hurricanes and those kinds of things, which is something the federal government should be doing, but it shouldn't be out there promoting, garbage policy that's not based on science. And so we can take those things that NOAA does and those other organizations like FDA, and we can put them in other departments and other agencies.
Well, the good thing is the Chevron decision actually put the EPA in check, which I'm so happy about.
Absolutely. Yeah, EPA is another one that gets a whole chapter in and of itself just because of how egregious some of the decisions that it has made that have trampled on our constitutional right.
Yeah. And I forgot about this one. You guys are going to, because this definitely is something Trump wants to do, right? Defund the FBI and Homeland Security.
That one's a little trickier. This one's really personal for me because I was in D.C. whenever 9/11 happened, and so I remember everybody coming together to try and improve the intelligence community to make sure that there was, intel sharing across the various agencies, so something like 9/11 would never happen again. Unfortunately, we have to face the facts. Not only did that not work, but in fact, a lot of folks that will tell you that have worked there, it's actually even worse than it was before 9/11. And so we need to take a long, hard look at particularly the Department of Homeland Security and breaking that up and eliminating that department so that, those various things that we should do to improve our national security, those can be streamlined and made more effective.
Right. I really enjoyed my time down there at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Is Mark still leading it?
Come on back. No. As a matter of fact, our former head is actually Kevin Roberts, who's now head of the Heritage Foundation. So he left a couple years ago. Yeah, we have a new CEO. But, yeah, man, you're welcome down anytime. Come on down. You don't even need to come down for an event, man. We'll just show you around and have a good time.
Oh, I would love that. But, I just want to put the nail in the coffin as it relates to the connection between Project 2025 and the Trump campaign for president. Where did this originate from? What does the left expect to get out of this?
It's an absolute fabrication by the Biden campaign because they're flailing and their attempts to put Trump in jail have totally failed. And so they're literally throwing everything they can at the wall. We were the first ones. And when we launched the book in last year, in April of last year, we said this is not for any candidate or any campaign. This is for the next conservative president, and it is a resource for them. They can take it or leave it. They can use parts of it or not. You can use the database. You can use the policies. But we feel like any administration, when it gets up and running, this is one of the challenges, is finding the right people to put into the administration to understand the policies that are going to help you govern, and trying to figure that out after you become the president is extremely difficult. And so why not go ahead and spend the next 2 years building that database and building those policies so that they're available for the next president? And that's what we've built. And again, Trump, if Trump wins, he can take it or leave it, but it has never been associated with him or his campaign, and we have said that from the very beginning.
Yeah, and I think the Kamala Harris is the orchestrator behind this, because remember, she met with Taraji P. Henson. Remember, she from the streets.
The streets.
Wait, what'd she say? They ain't like us, and we from the streets and stuff like that. Come on. She met with her at the White House, and then at the BET Awards, Taraji P. Henson, because this is what I find. I can't say that word. It makes me really upset that they always use the black community to try to push out messages, especially against white candidates like a Donald Trump, right?
Well, listen, the best thing that could have happened for us is for them to make this egregious error and to highlight Project 2025, because now people are not only becoming aware of this project, but they're becoming aware of the massive problem that we have within the federal government, and that we need a sense of urgency to do something about it. And so for folks like you and others around the country who you knew about Project 2025, but maybe a lot of your listeners didn't. Now you do. Now your listeners are talking about it. This is in the media. And so it's not just highlighting what we're working on, but really more importantly, it's highlighting that this is a massive problem in the federal government, and it has to rise to the level of a priority.
Yeah, I particularly love the one where they said that you guys are going to put a ban on Muslims entering the country. These people, they live in La La Land.
It's literally not in the book. We've challenged them so many times. I even think somebody said, go through this list and I'll give you $1,000 for every time you can actually reference something in the book that, based on your claims. We've seen some people really, really doing good to push back on this.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of pushback from the left and the trolls. And you could tell they're trolls because they only have like 12 friends and no pictures of themselves, and it's their throwaway accounts,
I love it. Embrace the hate.
Exactly. Brian Phillips, Chief Communications Officer at the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Thank you so much for joining Chicago's Morning Answer. And I'm going to take you up on that, coming down to Texas and hanging out with you guys. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Come on, have some barbecue and tacos.
Oh man, you got me. I'm there. Say less. Wait, say less.
I appreciate it.
Charles, I'm telling you, man. He said barbecue. Especially if they got some hot links, I'm there. They got some hot links, I'm there. And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Would you go to court without a lawyer when the other guy is lawyered up? Or are you going to go it alone and learn law and procedure as you go? When you have an insurance claim for your home or business, it's the same thing.
This is Dan Lights from Crosscom. We inspect your property, file your claim, negotiate the damages, and maximize your settlement with your insurance company.
Insurance companies will send out their inspectors that work for them, get paid by them, and represent them. Not you.
If we complete the repairs approved by your insurance company, our service is free. Crosscom Public Adjusters has turned denied claims into approved claims. We've also increased insurance claims anywhere from 23 to 1,000%, and we could do the same for you. We are licensed by the Department of Insurance and work in Illinois, Northwest Indiana, and Southern Wisconsin. Crosscom Public Adjusters, 630-871-5500. Online at CrosscomInc.com. That's CrosscomInc.com. Crosscom, building trust for over 20 years.
Hey folks, I just can't help thinking of our stress levels. And high blood pressure is the #1 key risk factor for mortality. In fact, 1 in 2 Americans walking around have high blood pressure. That's a ticking time bomb. But thankfully, it's never been easier to take control of your blood pressure. With 120 Life, a truly remarkable natural juice blend that can actually help you lower your blood pressure without the side effects of taking pills every day. 120 Life is formulated with scientifically backed ingredients from superfruits, berries, and minerals that have been shown to naturally help control high blood pressure. And it works. It's endorsed by over 70 health professionals, and I assure you, that's not fake news. I use it myself. I love it. You can try it for yourself risk-free with their 2-week trial. Just go to 120 Life and use the coupon code LIBERTY to save 15% and receive free shipping. If 120 Life doesn't help lower your blood pressure in 2 weeks, they give you your money back. It's guaranteed. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com. Go to 120life.com today.
If you had $1 million in 2009, today it would be worth less than $700,000. Thank you, big government. Hedge against runaway inflation with gold from Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. I trust Birch Gold, and you can too.
Text the word SHELTER to the number 989898 and get a free, no-obligation info kit on gold. Text SHELTER to 989898 today.
There's an issue cutting through the bipartisan bickering in Congress. It's AM radio. The overwhelming majority of legislators, Democrats and Republicans, support a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
When you're in chronic pain, you're miserable to be around, and so are the people who have to watch you suffer. So stop it. Do something about it. Now's the time to be proactive and take care of yourself. And there's another solution other than surgery or drugs. Call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, they have a cutting-edge treatment that revitalizes your joints with your body's own healing process. So if you have arthritis or if you're in pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, back due to an injury, you need to call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation and get your life and mobility back. You know, I've been to one of their clinics. I met a few of their customers. They were smiling from ear to ear, so happy to have their mobility back, pain-free, without surgery. They have locations all across the Chicagoland area, including new locations in Crystal Lake and Gurnee. Call for a free consultation, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955, 312-809-5955.
AM 560, The Answer.
Well, Charles, we've come to the end of the show.
Can't believe it, man. I mean, there's still stuff I want to say.
I know, but I want to play this audio clip from Congressman Wesley Hunt. You know, yesterday we didn't get a chance to get to it, but there was a vote. 198 Democrats voted against allowing only Americans to vote. I want you to hear what Congressman Wesley Hunt had to say about this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of H.R. 8281, the SAVE Act. For years, Democrats have called Republicans conspiracy theorists for stating Democrats want illegal aliens to vote in our elections, yet President Biden and every single Democrat in Washington want this bill to fail. If Biden and the Democrats want to clear up this conspiracy theory, Mr. President, when this bill passes, make sure you sign it into law. And on another note, I've been black for my entire life. I'd like to bring up the most racist thing I've ever heard is the insinuation by Democrats that black and brown Americans are too stupid to get an ID to vote, just like everybody else. I call this the soft bigotry of low expectations. Figuring out how to vote in this country is a very low bar, and we could all figure it out regardless of your race, religion, color, or creed, and we should all want free and fair elections. With me today, I'm not going to pull mine out this time, but I have 6 forms of government issue ID. How did I acquire that? Personal responsibility in this country. I've also heard a lot about Jim Crow here today. I'm here to tell you Jim Crow is over, and I know it because my parents grew up in it.
I love that guy. He needs to be in Trump's administration. Charles Love, thanks so much for joining me today. Quinn McCarthy, the producer of the show, Justin Kozak, the technical producer. You guys made it really easy for me. I appreciate the comfort. And to Dan and Amy, thanks for allowing us to sit in.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Now onto the newsroom with Mike Scott.
At 8:59, here are the stories we're following this morning. Just ahead of Fox News, a person of interest is in custody after a 15-year-old was killed in a Southside shooting. Police say a driver intentionally hit a